Hello, everybody, and welcome. Uh, you know, Sam might hop in at some point. We'll see what happens. Um, I don't have any announcements, except the same that I made last week, that based on the momentum things are going with this campaign right now, there's going to be no more end of the month breaks, just because we're kind of in a spot that needs to keep on trucking. And if I feel like if we take time off, it's going to kind of be like a wet fart. And nobody likes wet farts. Unless you do.
Except babies.
Yep. The baby's first poo is called
it
meconium. And
keeps the
speaking,
diaper lubricated.
moving
Sorry.
on, moving on, moving on very quickly.
Being friends
Uh,
with 2-year-olds, I'm sorry.
Kate doesn't have any announcements this week. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, what a bummer.
No.
Probably for the best.
What do you got, Kate?
I got some Etsy stores. If you want to check them out, you can check out Bad Dice Co. on Etsy for some pretty cool D&D themed stickers, or custom dice bags. Or you can check out Kate Craft Studio US for all kinds of plushies. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it. So, the last we left off, then, Hopper got attacked by Antyr. Oh no, that's rough. Um, well, possessed Antyr, and caused a fight among the party, perhaps in a way. And as this happened, a sort of entity that looked similar to Antyr stepped out of a portal, and it seemed to be tethered to Antyr via like a shadowy tendril. The group immediately started to fight the entity instead of Antyr, uh, perhaps believing that this connection was important. Uh, at some point during the fight, Antyr begged Torger and Vonkar to kill them. Uh, I did not have Torger do that because I didn't know if Torger would do that, so Torger instead attacked the creepy entity that was lurking about the corridor. And Vonkar told Antyr to stop complaining and fought the entity as well, dealing serious damage with a thrown torch. Um, Eventually, Grin dealt the killing blow to this entity, which seemed to break Antyr from this possession that seemed to be centered on the book that Auntie Gothel gave Antyr. And upon defeating this shadowy entity, Auntie Gothel, a unseelie fae, without any issue, teleported herself into this seelie domain you currently find yourselves in, and remarked that the items she gave you all early in the campaign were cursed in some way, and that since you all were kind of bonded a little bit more now, she revealed the secrets that the further you use the items she gave you upon your death, instead of going to the outer planes where most souls go, you would instead go to her domain and live with her forever instead. She offered to take the cursed items back because she liked you all, with Antyr and Hopper immediately giving back their items, the sentient spellbook and Hopper's armor. Torger's cloak was left up in the air since Caleb wasn't here, so that is currently in limbo. We do not know if Torger would have given that in or not. Then she left pretty quickly. You all took a little bit of a short rest while the Duergar did a Duergar sort of funeral cairn for a Duergar that Antyr consumed, which caused this whole thing to happen. Like, consumed the Duergar's essence, but no one was real. It was a weird thing happened, and at some point after the fact, putting this Duergar out of misery is what Antyr did. Torger and Vonkar performed like a Duergar funeral rite for it, buried it under a cairn, while Grin made holy water. You all continued deeper into this section of the Underdark that had been displaced, with Torger warning you all of the creatures you could expect down below. Yes.
I also did a ceremony so that the
Correct.
corpse wouldn't become undead.
Torger warned you all of the creatures that could be seen in the Underdark, listing off quite a few, quite a lot. most of them, a few of them, would have been tattooed on Torger's body somewhere. Um, uh, During the short rest, the party, Grin asked Antyr about how the essence draining of their possession felt. Antyr said it felt gratifying and intoxicating, and that they didn't really feel bad about it. It never felt bad, it never felt awful, it always felt great. After these revelations, you all observed faint tendrils of mint green, reminiscent of the ley lines, kind of tethering each of you together and forming a large interwoven thread before that disappeared, and it seemed to emanate just around the same time as Antyr confessed all of these things and this entity was slain. Grin, utilizing their divine sense, detected an overwhelming sense of benevolence emanating from these tendrils and threads, and engulfed in a certainty that they were all following the right path, and whatever had transpired just now was ultimately for the greater good. The greater good. Yeah, wow. Also, upon recognizing these tendrils, Antyr, with their chronomancy abilities, perceived that an alternate reality they had glimpsed on their own, known as the Emptiness, filled with alternate versions of themselves in the party, had collapsed and been erased from existence, as that potential future they had witnessed was no longer a possibility. Once again, echoing the words you've all heard about divergent realities and timelines all fucked up through the ley lines and how things are a little dirty. Antyr knelt down to apologize to Hopper, and Hopper basically told Antyr to fuck off. And someone in the party mentioned that it was Torger, because I thought that might make sense, but whatever. Maybe I made a misstep. Torger said that Hopper didn't have any grounds to stand on because Hopper threatened to kill the party a few times before. So, cut Antyr some slack. They were possessed. Torger then cautioned you all against the use of light entering into the Underdark, emphasizing it would attract dangerous creatures, since light isn't a commodity down there. After about 30 minutes, you all came to this chasm that had collapsed at the midpoint, Torger explaining that the bridge crossing it usually would lead to the city you were all looking for, Cocoon, but there was no way forward now that the ceiling had collapsed. However, there was a rope draped down into the chasm that people had taken prior, so you all climbed down, Grin beforehand flying down to investigate, and eventually passed through a invisible wet membrane, and there was a flash of red light that everybody saw, and Grin was teleported into a lake deeper in the Underdark. You all followed after Grin also being engulfed in this red light, and found that you were many more miles below the earth. Your chasm that you had entered from about 2 miles up on the cavern ceiling. Torger mentioned this was far deeper than they had ever gone in the Underdark, and did not know where they were anymore. Reuniting in the lake, Antyr hiding in a hideaway sack to make the fall safe, Grin reached in to grab Antyr and saw that an entity was also in the bag with Antyr, almost catching Antyr before Grin saved them. Grin also warned the party of a colossal entity in the lake that resembled a house-sized lamprey, or at least its mouth was that size. So the group fled the lake pretty quick. And as you got towards the shore, there were these pale, hunched creatures that caught a crab. One seemed really excited to catch a crab, and the others leapt onto said creature and ripped it apart. Because, you know, that's what things do down here. Yep.
Hello, I'm here to fuck up your stream windows.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, you all did that. Swam to shore, collected some acidic blood that these creatures seem to have, and some sand, and followed this walking trail that these creatures ran off to deeper into the lower dark. Realizing you were in dangerous terrain, you came across these weird stalk-like vegetal structures, and inside the stalks were these pale creatures, but they appeared to be blind, but with like expert attuned hearing, and not really having a way back. You all proceeded through this stalk-like forest, having it be far larger than probably anticipated, and with no safe place to stop and rest, you continued going, already exhausted from the swimming earlier that day. Exhaustion began to set in, and by the end of the trek, Grin and Torger were at 4 levels of exhaustion. Yeah.
It was bad.
Antyr, it was bad. It was really bad. Antyr found a cave for you all to spend the night in about 45 minutes after this, and you all spent the night sound asleep. Torger and Grin reduced their levels of exhaustion by 1, because that's all long rest does. And yeah, it was bad. You missed some bad stuff. Antyr,
Yes.
you spent your long rest staring at this wall that seemed to shimmer for a moment, and realized that every so often, it was matching the pulse of the ley line you had been following, or what you assumed to be a ley line that you were following, because it had the same light and structure. It matched the shimmering on the wall matched the pulse of the ley line, and you realized it would become not solid, can't think of the word, anymore, and your hand faced through, assuming that the halfling who you found bisected in this cavern had possibly fallen through during something and been cut in half by the wall. As you stared at it for longer, you could hear a voice approaching from the other side of this no longer solid rock wall. And as you sit here staring at the enchanted cave wall, you do hear a voice approaching. No, you can rest. I'll make sure it's not one of the afflicted. I believe the others have moved on already. And as a figure begins to pass through the wall, what do? The rest of the party is fast asleep. You all have gained the benefits of a long rest, which I marked off for the people that weren't here, which I think was just Torger. But yeah, Antyr, you're currently the only one awake, and you can see something beginning to pass through the rock wall. You have about a few seconds to do something.
Yeah. Antyr is going to I know I have something. Oh, that doesn't make any noise. Okay. Antyr is going to release the Magus Reach to shake awake Torger, but call out to this speak out because they're closest to the wall. They're going to kind of back up a little bit. Allies. Well, allies.
Okay, so Torger, you're jostled awake. Which reminds me, your cloak that you have, the Shadow Mantle, is the cursed item that Auntie Gothel gave you. Would Torger have given that back or kept it?
You're muted.
Would have booted it if everyone else was doing it.
Alright, cool. Then your Shadow Mantle is gone.
It's a sick ass close, but I look at it again, and it's mainly just 10 HP.
Okay, cool. Yep. So
Which I love.
Yeah, it was.
But
cool.
not more than.
Yeah, when Auntie Gothel showed up, when she pulled all these hourglasses that had everybody's like sand in them, you and Hopper were pretty close to running out of sand. Antyr was basically right there, but you and Hopper were like almost ran out. But yeah, cool.
Oh, but with the items had caused us to almost run out.
Yeah, every time you use the cursed items, they would.
Oh, I used that.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was lousy
same.
with curse.
Yeah,
Same.
Vonkar never used his, and the creep got one, but the Grin didn't. Anyways, okay, yeah. So Antyr, you shake up Torger with Magus Reach, and then you speak out to this entity.
Calling for an ally, friends, allies.
Quietly or loud?
Enough to where, like, not loud because
The creatures that are like
the
not
creature,
too far
even
away.
though it's 45 minutes away, I don't fucking know, but
Okay.
loud enough to where it could be.
Okay, so
heard.
Torger's the only one that'll get woken up then. Okay.
So Torger's gonna wake up and only open one eye.
Okay. So you get woken
can
up to
still-
see an illusory. You see a tall figure made of blocks of red sandstone stepping out from this illusory wall at the back of the cave that you all thought was 20 feet deep, but now there's this tall figure, just blocks of red stone, steps out. Nestled within the groove in the middle of their form is a faintly glowing ruby, and the blocks of stone seem tethered by some sort of mint green colored energy. They look like a Minecraft character just made of blocks.
But they do have mint green on them.
Yeah, that seems to like tether the blocks together like chains, almost like little beams of energy. Uh, a visage of a curious face in mint green energy appears on the block where a head should be. Ah! I observe individuals in slumber. Should I alert them to the potential danger? And you can see the figure waits a second, and then nods as if in agreement to like something that it's talking to internally, but externally is when it talks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is jolted awake by a voice screaming into their minds. So you all hear it in your mind. You all hear it in your minds. Everyone that's awake, but everyone else that was sleeping is jolted awake. Greetings, slumbering individuals. This location is unsafe for rest. My creator and I provide sanctuary where you can recuperate and address your injuries. And he tilts his head to the side, and a smile made of the same mint green energy appears on the top block, just like an emoji. I am enchanted relief manifestation for individuals' needs and empowerment. But you can call me Ermine. And he reaches out his hand for a handshake towards Antyr because you're the closest.
Yeah, Antyr will reach out the hand.
And just shakes
Awkwardly.
Your hand. Just shakes your hand. Yeah, their name is Enchanted Relief Manifestation for Individuals' Needs and Empowerment. But it says you can call him
Nice.
Ermine.
Nice.
This place is not safe.
Antyr doesn't do the charmed, I'm sure.
No, Antyr's learned with being with y'all. Can't be too dainty all the time.
Get
Yeah.
made fun of and stuffed into a locker.
Yeah.
The figure
Ah!
the figure is just a tall red block person, and they're just standing there.
Antyr's gonna turn to the others as they all are jumping awake, or stirred awake. You're okay. We're okay.
I advise to not make too much noise or you will draw the afflicted.
We will follow you.
Yes,
get
get
out
out of here. Let's pack up. There.
The figure-
Grins just starts rolling up his tiny bed. Or no,
No, you're not tiny.
he had to have a
anymore.
bigger bedroll now.
His giant
is bigger.
bedroll.
Oh yeah. You're 7 foot tall, just curling up on the same size bedroll.
You see him like a spider, just brings all of his limbs in and like
Went from
wiggles
1 foot
into
tall to
something the
6
size
inches
of
to
a
7
like a
feet.
cat fitting into a box.
yeah.
Yeah, the stone figure turns on the spot and just walks through the no longer solid wall, just disappears.
We could use information. I think it would be imperative to.
Comes
at
back.
least-
I can answer questions before we proceed. If it makes you feel better, my programming prioritizes assistance over aggression.
Let's get out of this area. Then we'll have our
Okay.
questions.
Turns around and just back through the rock wall again.
Scoots a little closer to the others. Okay, what I was saying is we can inquire with whoever their creator is, maybe if they know more, and then we can be on our way if everybody feels up for it.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Right.
Torger, do you think we're going in the right direction?
And he scrapes a finger along the wall, then licks the finger again. Yeah, I think we's got to go the right way.
Israel standing here,
Beautiful.
you can hear a cacophony of those blind creatures shrieking and waking up in the distance.
Oh.
Oh, let's go.
Antyr's just gonna
Just-
skedaddle through the wall.
Okay. And then,
Let's make like a tree and root out our new path.
you all
What is a fairy tree?
pass through the
Double buff.
formerly solid wall, and it feels akin to walking through a field of intense static electricity. Instantly, just anyone who has hair is just.
I'm
So-
just a giant fuzzball.
So akin to walking through a field of a static electricity, accompanied by an icy chill that runs down the spine. Emerging on the other side, you find yourselves still deep within the lower dark, yet surrounded by a city boasting desert-like architecture, unmistakably Silgarian in style. A sight I believe Vonkar would instantly recognize based on the architecture and being from Silgar. As you step through, not being from Silgar, but aware.
Having lived in Silgar.
Yeah. As you step through the stone automaton says, "Trust me, it is safer this way. Taking them all on isn't feasible. My creator can assist you in reaching your destination, should you have one."
Will we do?
He's gonna sublet in Silver, so he gets it.
Yeah, well, that sounds good.
Perfect.
let's-
How do you know?
Let's go.
What, how do you know what our destination is?
I don't. I said he can assist you in reaching your destination, should you have one. I do not assume this is your destination down here.
Good,
Just
I
out
was
of-
worried you were stalking us.
Just on a whim, I'm gonna do a divine sense.
Okay. Don't detect anything.
Cool. Great.
Like, yeah, nothing.
All right.
The city you see doesn't seem recently transported here either. Clearly not a part of the shunting. A thin veil of mint green energy envelops it, like a dome. The city's grandeur is evident, composed of stunning sandstone structures lining smooth, sand-covered streets. Desert plants adorn the thoroughfares in large pots and dangle from balconies. Colorful silk banners provide shade draping across rooftops under an illusory sky, depicting a serene, sunny day and providing the same temperature that you'd expect in such a place. So you go from cold, very, very cold lower dark into summertime desert.
Oof.
Despite the bustling streets filled with thousands of people engaged in various activities, talking, drinking, eating, the atmosphere is absolutely silent. Not a sound escapes from a single person in this city.
But they're bustling about. Like
Yeah,
it's
they're moving
moving.
about, talking to each other, laughing, enjoying life. A fleeting memory resurfaces for Vonkar, perhaps. His niece's pursuit of a myth. A lost city from Silger's past known as Tethramar. Dismissed by many as a fool's errand, she doggedly pursued the elusive city, convinced of its existence despite the lack of historical records. It was a tale she shared with you on every archaeological expedition you two went on. Her determination unwavering despite the continuous, unending skepticism and perhaps bullying of her peers. To most, Tethramar was merely a legend, scoffed as a fanciful tale, and now you're deep in the lower dark and you see a Silgarian city kind of just here, with people walking around, but again, they don't make any noise when they talk. It's all very weird. Ermine extends his arms wide as you enter the city's view. "Welcome to Tethramar," so confirming it is the city. "The golden sun of Silgar," and lowers his arms before proceeding into the city. "Do not worry about the people. They've been put into a temporal displacement, fully alive, without any threat of danger for the impending cataclysm that comes for us all." And he scoops up a bit of sand and throws it at somebody, and it kind of just phases through them, and just scatters on the ground. "We can't engage with anyone while outside the displacement. They're perfectly safe as long as it persists," and just continues down the street.
Sociologically or
Yeah.
socially, this place is like similar to like Atlantis for us, right?
Yeah.
It's like a city that was known, but is
Yeah, but
It's
like
just
this
gone.
this city is not known. No one knows about this. Vonkar only knows about it because he's heard his niece talk about it.
yeah,
But none of you have ever heard of this city before.
right, right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so Vonkar's only heard of it because his niece believed it exists, but there was never any proof it exists. So all of her peers were like, "You're stupid. Like, there's no such thing."
Yeah.
And-
We're being
but very
asked to
much,
follow?
very much, more mysterious Atlantis. I'm sorry, what was that?
We're being asked to follow right now.
Yeah, the big old red block
Yeah.
guy.
Would there be a minute where I can take just a quick detour, or just at any point in our tour here?
Of course.
When would be convenient?
I'm not sure.
All right, well, just let me know.
All right.
Vonkar is going to take out. It's all he has to write on is his cartography supplies.
Yeah,
So he's going to pull out a map,
sure.
just like a blank map, and just like fold it up to notepad size,
Okay.
and then just start like taking notes on everything he sees, and then just like have to like unfold it and flip it around to like get to the next fold, and then just like start doing that as the next page.
Okay. Yeah, never mind. Just keeps leading you guys down streets. You passing by beautiful, grandiose buildings of expertly hewn sandstone. A child runs by playing fetch with his dog, completely full of joy and unaware that you're all here at the moment. His dog kind of phases through Ermine. Just
There's like activity.
yeah, like people are
But they're
alive and
just-
well, but you just can't interact with them. You can't hear them, and you can't like physically like interact with them.
So they're like Tralfamadorians. They're like unstuck in time.
Yeah.
They're kind of just they're in their own thing. But
Yeah.
we are existing simultaneously but
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
We're parallel.
Yep.
In the same space.
Yeah, Ermine
So
said
then-
that they've been like put
yeah.
into like a temporal displacement, and you just can't interact with them.
Yeah. So I want to like Torger would fall back and give Vonkar a little elbow to the ribs. Yeah, I'm also taking notes. Do you want me to copy anything down for you? Like, I pull out my notebook that is a spell book, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, it has the same magical protections of a spell book, but there are no spells in it. It's just it's just my journal.
James.
Yeah, sure. Just anything you want to write down. My niece was trying to find this place, and she always she always said that it existed, but no one believed her. So I just wanted to take some notes for her for next time I see her, because she's gonna be so jealous I found this place first. Well, happened upon it, but still, that will stop her being a little jealous. But in a fun way.
Are you, like, 100% sure that your niece hasn't found it?
Well, she hadn't last time I saw her, which was shortly before I met all of you a few weeks ago.
Okay. That's, unless she, 100% has done the same journey as we have, which is pretty astronomically unlikely. Although,
Probably, yeah, just in case, better safe than sorry.
yeah, well, yeah, I was just going to say that, whatever we need to write down, I'll write it from my point of view, so maybe you've got, like, corroborating but separate points of view. Like, did you know that sometimes kids is so happy you can just walk right through them? I didn't know that.
A ball at this moment. The kid's playing fetch with his dog. The ball sails through the back of Torger's head and just.
See?
That is new to me.
Yeah, sometimes you're just so happy things go right through you. That's funny.
If-
Ugh, me at the buffet line.
Mm.
If you
I like
have,
buffets because they're strong. They're so buff.
They are. One thing I know about old people, they will happily and openly share about their bowel movements.
they will.
Yeah, right next to when you're trying to get prime rib. It's so weird.
Hermione will say as you're walking, if you have any questions, I am free to answer them while we walk.
Yeah.
do you know-
Oh, go ahead. Who was
Go
that?
ahead.
Oh, it
do
looks
you
like
know
we
why-
all got questions.
Yeah.
That is understandable.
Do you know why this place is like this?
I regret to admit I lack the precise understanding of magic compared to my creator. My purpose is solely to assist the inhabitants of the city. What I do know is that my creator endeavors to shield the populace from a foreseen catastrophe, a vision he perceived depicting a cataclysmic renewal amidst the rise of more sustainable magic, or so he called it.
How do you serve the city? I mean, it seems like you can't really interact with anything, so...
Not anymore, but I serve as best I can.
What's that mean?
Okay. I help my
Did I
creator.
break the AI?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
essentially. I help my creator keep the displacement in effect. And in lieu, protect the citizens of this city. This is basically the guy you're talking to, by the way.
And it's all psychic?
No, he talks out loud, but he can speak psychically. So he's speaking right now out loud.
That's a great.
Okay.
I was gonna ask the same.
No.
question regarding
He does.
whether-
So when he does this, he can do telepathy. But when he was responding to when he was talking to the voice that you guys couldn't hear, his responses were all audible out loud. But he can speak telepathically as well. But yeah, to answer Grin's question, he would say, yeah, as of right now, I help my creator to keep the displacement in place, and by doing so, protect the citizens.
All right. I'm done.
Okay.
Ermin, you mentioned, I heard you mention the word afflicted, or afflicted
Correct.
individuals. What does that mean?
I admit I do not know the full nature of the affliction. My creator knows more. He's been studying it for some time now.
Is it an affliction, is it something that has happened because of the events that had transpired above world?
A very long time ago, yes.
Got it, alright.
Yeah, every time I'd experienced affliction, it was a bunch of guys wearing shitty T-shirts around the fighting pits.
That makes sense.
Oh my god.
That's every time I had experienced affliction. Just shitty T-shirts around the fighting pits. So it makes sense that it would pop up now.
I
'cause we're so
understand your
close.
pain.
Yeah. So I mean,
Oh, and when
Yeah.
while he's addressing all of you, since he's leading, his head like completely turns around so he can look at you while he talks, and keep
Oh.
leading.
Does he seem like he's leading us to a certain building that doesn't look affected like this other place?
Not really. So
Okay.
none of the buildings look affected. It's just the people the people appear tangible. Like everyone appears like solid, not like transparent or anything. But you just can't like interact with them. You can interact with the surroundings because you are leaving footprints in the sand that covers the streets.
Okay.
If anyone touches a building as you pass by, you do like the buildings are solid. You just can't. For some reason, the people you can't like physically interact with or hear.
Do the people see our footprints at all ever?
They do not seem to be aware of your footprints in the sand.
Okay.
Also, does it seem like Antyr's gonna kind of like look around and more focused on, does it seem less like they're living out their life as opposed to maybe this is like a time loop situation where like they a certain amount of
based
hours and
on-
then they restart?
Based on Irma saying time displacement and your knowledge of time magic,
Mm-hmm.
they're living out their lives, but like
Okay.
separately from this point of time. It's kind of like two moments of time are kind of like intersected. Best way to describe it.
Yeah.
The time is displaced in this city, but you are all here. Best way to describe it with your knowledge of time: the people in this city are displaced out of time. You're here in the present. They are not.
But we're seeing like
It's hard to
not really
like.
phantom versions of them, but it's still like real situations, but you're just kind of
Yeah. It's real time for them as it is real time for you, but in two different points of time.
it's
Okay.
like when you fold a pair of socks together.
Yeah.
Like you take the top and it folds around. Like they both exist at the same time,
Correct.
but they're still two
Right.
separate
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
socks.
There you go.
Like,
There's a good way to.
shifted
Yeah.
sideways.
There's a good way to explain it.
Nice.
Thank you, Torger,
Nice, Caleb.
Caleb. I can't tell which one that was in that moment.
Yeah, sometimes he's got to just
The brain
release-
power that did there.
Just writes
Killed
it, writes it up. Like one of the more lucid moments that just kind of like one eye's crossed, but just yeah. So when you fold two pairs of socks together, you just got it's like one pair, but there's two different socks.
Ermine will look towards Vonkar. You mentioned having knowledge of our city.
Oh, a little bit. My niece is an archaeologist, and she's been looking for it for quite some time based on rumors and other things she's heard about it and read about it.
Oh, that makes sense. haven't exactly kept track of how much time has passed for my creator and I outside of the displacement. Do you have any questions, old one?
I was just, if you wouldn't mind just rambling about the city and telling me all about just the basic day-to-day, the layout, the government, the system, where it comes from, how it got down here, just the details.
I regret to inform you I do not have knowledge of the city when it was thriving.
You
Around.
came here after the fact?
I was created after the fact to assist my creator and the people in the displacement. However,
Okay, right.
I can tell you what happened to the city if you are curious.
Oh, absolutely, yes, please.
My creator dedicated generations to studying the impending cataclysmic renewal, delving into the intricacies of ley lines, the weave, and a substance known as cathadium. After constructing a device based on this research, it transported the city elsewhere, displacing it amidst 2 moments in time, using a sandstorm as cover. That's the extent of my knowledge. And I would echo with what your niece told you. She heard from a rambling dude on the street. That's how she first heard about the city. That the city disappeared in a sandstorm. Like a sandstorm rolled over it and the city was gone. So he says displaced it amidst 2 moments in time. That's all I know.
Wait, so you saying? I'm sorry, I was really thinking about socks.
That's fair. I don't wear socks.
Yeah, no, there's also holes sometimes. You see him like make the sneeze face, but you're not sure if he's gonna sneeze or not. Just that.
Okay.
So what you saying is your creator? The player, me, Caleb heard her. Are you referencing
That's
Vonkar's?
Vonkar's niece is her.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I then made a wild leap where I thought you also referenced your creator as her.
No.
Okay, sorry, thank you. Some of us are working some time
That's-
theories
I get
over
it.
here. We're
Oh,
just
I
we're
get
just
it.
Time's
sitting and
fun.
going, who's?
Brain power.
Time's fun.
I already suggested that she may have found it first. Did she find it in a different time loop? And I'm just doing my own like looper math in my head.
With this shit,
a weird
Um,
like Bruce Willis nose that she's put on top, like Looper.
Also, the people are undamaged, safeguarded within the confines of the temporal displacement, shielded from external influence. Our inability to engage with them stems from our presence in the current moment. Our actions within the city only impact the time outside the displacement. Time does not pass for them inside. They do not age.
what does this ceiling look like?
There is no ceiling. You see an enchanted sky above that looks like
Okay.
a summer sky in like a desert climate. Bright sun
Got it.
shining, which was what looks like it keeps the plants alive.
Antyr's going to summon Endylas
Okay.
and send them up and have Endylas just fly straight up.
Okay. They get up to the sky, which would be roughly about where the sky is in terms of height,
Uh-huh.
and then hits a solid rock wall. Still
So-
still concealed within the sky, so there's like no
Okay.
discernible like rocky ceiling. And Dallas just kind of looks like they hit something in the sky that's not
So Chicken Little.
yeah.
So Chicken Little in this bitch. It's a fake sky. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to want. That was what I was wondering. About how high up would that be roughly? Did you know? Just curious.
400, 500 feet.
Okay, so like a good bit. Okay. I'm gonna send them or call them back, or just have them like, you know, fly over the city, get within 100 feet, but just keep like a
Okay.
flying perimeter.
Okay. Ermine eventually guides you to a grandiose tower crafted and adorned with an opulent balcony near the top, which is draped in silk and adorned with a variety of potted desert plants. He pushes the doors open at the base, ushering you into a small chamber cluttered with scattered scrolls and open books, their pages heavily annotated in ink. A thick layer of dust indicates this room's disuse for quite some time. Like no one's been in this room and used this room in a very, 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 very long time. Uh, Ascending a spiral staircase at the chamber's center, he leads you up to a closed door, from behind which emanates the faint, soothing strains of like smooth jazz almost. Knocks on the door. Enter. You just hear a voice from behind to say, Enter. Ermine opens the door, and you find yourselves in a grand study adorned with towering bookshelves housing ancient tomes, with a large map depicting a desert-like continent labeled Silgar on the wall. At the center of the room sits a sizable oval table strewn with open books, dusty scrolls, and empty inkwells. A small archway leads to the balcony seen from the street, where an ornate dark oak rocking chair offers a view over the city. In the northwest, in the northwest corner of the room is a divider that encloses a space where a small bed draped in vibrant silk sheets holds a very elderly gnome man. His tanned, weathered skin and weary gray eyes convey severe illness, accentuated by a mane of thinning white hair cascading down his shoulders and rough stubble adorning his chin. And he kind of looks at you all enter and extends a feeble hand and introduces himself. It is a pleasure to meet you all. I am Deverin Morharrow, Magister and Archmage of Leyline experimentation for the Silgarian government. Pauses for a moment, furrows his brow, frowns a bit. Formerly, it has been some time since I held that position, I suppose.
How long?
Oh, 400 years, give or take.
Wait.
Wait,
Wait.
Grin. It's impolite. Introduce yourself. Hello, we are the Funky Casuals. My name is Antyr.
Oh,
This is
it is no bother. I have not had someone to talk to that isn't Ermine here for some time.
it's good to always know who you're talking to.
That is fair.
Yeah, I'm good. So, the, so, the Leylines only, as I understand it, appeared very recently, and you said that
They
you've been studying them for over 400
for a
years?
very long time. They've been dormant for a long time. Still accessible. That's why magic has not always been accessible still. They've only reawakened recently. But I've been studying them for quite some time.
What, like 6 years ago they reawakened?
Unsure? I don't really know much in terms of the passage of time nowadays, but it must have been about 400 years I've been down here. Give or take. Keeping the displacement up, I don't want to leave the city, and just in case the displacement fails. So it's just been me and Ermine.
To leave.
Do you eat a lot of the same stuff every day?
For the last 10 years I've been confined to this bedroom. I am quite ill.
Oh no! Maybe I can help.
The affliction that has taken hold of me is uncurable, even by magical standards.
What is it?
Is that Grin asking?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. It sounded like you for a second. Studying the ley lines for so long and dealing with the hazardous materials produced from them for so long, it takes its toll. Who knew Cassadium was so dangerous to the mind, body, and spirit? He grimaces for a moment and continues. I call it Cathadium sickness. I know it's a simple name. Bleh. These materials produced from the ley lines are called Cassadium crystals, and they are the ley lines trying to expunge their infection. Think of it like when an abscess forms. These clusters of Cassadium are like abscesses for the ley lines. He rolls up the sleeves on his left arm, and you can see the flesh has turned an awful pallid white, similar to like milk, and very similar to the creatures you encountered outside. I assume you have seen the people fully consumed by the sickness. from what I know, is this collection from a settlement a few miles above us were thrown away when they became too tough to handle for their fighting pits. You should explain what you're talking about in terms of the afflicted. Oh, the creatures just outside of the cave you were found in? That is the full extent of what happens to someone when they succumb to Castadium sickness.
So you're becoming that.
When it gets too dire, Ermine has been ordered to make sure that does not happen to me.
Yeah. Is it contagious?
It is only... the first symptoms of Castadium sickness are memory loss. I do not remember most of the things I've researched. It is all in my laboratory beneath the palace. So unfortunately I cannot aid in such questions. However,
Do you mind if I...
he seems to kind of get lost in whatever he was trying to say.
Do you mind if I just give it a shot and try to help you out?
You can certainly try, but do not be disappointed if it does not work.
I'll just let me give it a shot. I'm gonna do heart sense.
Okay. Alignment is neutral.
Cool.
You pushing deeper?
No, it's just magically knows the creature's current emotional state.
Emotional state. Confused. Hopeful, but confused. Oh, hopeful, then confused, like punches hopeful down. Hopeful comes up again. Confused, punches it down. So it seems like he's hopeful that there are people here that could possibly help, but the confusion keeps, like, from the memory loss that he explained, kind of just...
Antyr's gonna do a loop around the... You said there's like a oval table?
Yeah,
Or
filled
was
with,
that
like...
down...
Yeah, no, the oval table's up here. It's filled with, like, yeah,
Antyr will
stuff.
prestidigitate to clean off the...
Open books, dusty scrolls, and empty inkwells.
Yeah, gonna prestidigitate to clean off the dust, but not touch anything directly
Yeah.
yet, but is gonna try to just glean over what
It's
some of the
a
contents
lot
would
of
be.
mad ramblings of him, like, trying to, like, regain lost memories, but realizing he's not in a state to go where these memories may be, which he keeps mentioning his laboratory under the palace where he did his research, but it's just him, like, him trying to not give in to his body's, like, failing and the illness.
So sad.
And he's just been, and it's just 10 years worth of notes of him just being, like, confined to this room, and Ermine goes out into the city to get him, like, food and stuff every day, because it knows that the food and stuff they can strangely borrow from the city, and it
So
isn't, like, aged or anything, and it's a lot of him trying to deduce why that happened, just noting that he used to know why but doesn't anymore, but he has theories.
Can Antyr approach Dervin?
Sorry,
Deverin.
Deverin.
before they get to that,
Mhm.
I would like to use, as I'm still
Mhm.
touching them, and you've stated, but Grin's gonna give it a shot because this is a sad situation. So he's gonna dump 5 HP and try to cure disease.
Doesn't seem to have any effect.
Okay.
Antyr's gonna approach Grin and say that name one more time.
Deverin.
Deverin. Okay.
Deverin more Harrow.
More hero. That's right. Is gonna gently sit on the edge of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Could they try to ascertain the potential life expectancy remaining on this individual?
Give me a medicine check.
Yeah. Beautiful. It rolled off a 2 onto an 18 for a 22.
Nice.
It's hard to tell because you don't really know the way this affliction works. So your estimate would be between weeks or years, but not not decades.
Okay, so like 5 potentially. Okay.
So
It's not
between 1
Yeah.
week to 9 years.
Okay. Perfect.
It's hard to like get a
quantify.
firm
Yeah.
grasp on, but
I
like
mean, even nowadays, yeah, trying to do just a residual look over to
yeah.
see.
Oh yeah.
Antyr's gonna pull out the herbalism pouch and pull a small little tea bag of green, or not green, of white and pink flowers. Is gonna press it into Deverin's hands. This tea, these leaves, I would say when you feel your time growing closer, these will allow your mind to be a bit more free for a little bit. We're gonna hand them some soul vine.
Oh,
tea.
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Why not do acid right before these die?
you can see like through Grin attempting to heal the affliction, it seems to like restore his memory a little bit, but not like fully.
Mhm.
You can see like a little twinkle come to his eyes again, but not like. Yeah, he's still pretty like rough looking. He's
Some
like,
moment
oh.
of clarity.
He kind of. Do you have any questions for me? I know it's strange to find a city such as this in the depths of the lower dark, especially with all the people outside living their lives like ghosts.
We need what you did here, what you accomplished with the city and the people in this stasis. Do you have any recollection of where, I know you say under the palace, but where within the palace your studies and such like that, where your laboratory is located, to make it a bit more easier for us?
It is the 6th floor of the palace. You would need my office. What was my office? What is my office called?
Antyr's gonna grab their hand again.
Okay.
I know they're not an object, but they have like clothes, and do they have like
Yeah.
any kind of like adornments or anything like that?
Just like like pajamas, like silk pajamas.
His pajama's not really gonna work. I don't think.
No.
Antyr's gonna take a look around. Does it look like they have like maybe? Yeah, do they have like glasses or like bifocals, or do they have like a staff or like?
God, good question. I mean, yeah, good question.
Or maybe clothes that look worn, like they've worn for a long time, or had.
Oh, I know
worn in
you're
the
okay. I
past.
know what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Yeah, Grin might pop in and just say,
Do you know where your notes are, or how they're sorted? Like, did you categorize them?
Say when I felt my memory starting to fade, I put notes of my research in every room of my laboratory, so when I went back, I could retrace my steps, but I was never able to go back.
Oh.
He's got like a kind of like an olive green poncho that's like hanging up on a coat rack. That looks like it's seen some fair use.
Or Antyr's gonna walk over to that poncho.
My office, where was it? 6th floor. It's,
Antyr.
Yes.
Grin will try to get him out of earshot.
Antyr's walking over to the poncho.
Yeah.
Door labeled Arcane Legislature. That is where you would find my office.
The Arcane Legislature?
6th floor of the palace.
Antyr,
Yes.
I'm curious. Since this is like a magic or disease, what if you, like, dispelled magic.
I'm pretty sure Hopper could do that too.
Yeah, let's just blow. Let's make a
Nope,
fireball.
never mind. Never mind. Yeah. I can certainly attempt, but I'm going to be honest. I don't think.
I mean, it's just a thing I wanted to throw out there. Just some.
Of course.
You can see Ermine is like giving him a cup of water, like holding the cup of water and like helping Devon drink it.
As Antyr goes and grabs a poncho and kind of just walks back over. I just had a thought and it flew right out of my mind. Never mind.
I know the
Shit.
feeling.
Damn it.
I know.
It literally jumped right. I had it right before I said what I was going to say.
You're losing it, Antyr.
I am.
Creator, you should, while you're lucid, you should tell them of the settlement and the displacement. Give them all the information you can, perhaps. Unless you all would like to ask your own questions. He isn't very lucid for long.
Vonkar. It's all for Vonkar.
Well, through my scries and divination magic, I have managed to observe the city where those things escaped from, that you all most likely encountered here. The city was called Cocoon, if I'm not mistaken. It is governed entirely by deriders who compel unsuspecting individuals into their gladiatorial pits. The Leyline you beheld on your journey down here, you would have seen it in the distance, a pulsing light. That Leyline ascends directly through their city, and that is where those things climb down and make their homes in the hives outside of here. To climb the Leyline, you would need protection against the affliction that runs through the ley lines currently. I believe my laboratory would have such elixirs to aid with such passage, if you wish to climb up and out of down here. That is the only passage I know of how to get out of here. As for the displacement I have put on the city, through my study of the weave, ley lines, and the Casadium crystals they produce, I uncovered their innate potential. Our world, our reality, our time, it's all askew. Millennia ago, our path was meant for greatness, but the gods and their power struggles tainted the ley lines, diverting us onto a twisted timeline. The deities of fate and magic embedded a failsafe within these ley lines, a mechanism to realign us with our true destiny. A grand restoration is what I like to call it. Using this failsafe, I crafted a means to propel our city out of time, bridging two moments into the correct timeline. Yet, to tend to this device, I have to remain behind in the present. So the people in the city, they are safe from the restoration when it happens. As for the restoration, have any of you ever heard of this grand restoration before?
We have.
Well, if you haven't, they said they have, Creator. Well, maybe they've got the wrong information.
It is a resetting of sorts
The
for the material plane.
ley lines, they will pull down the moon from the sky into our world, causing a cataclysmic event that, after some time, will begin to renew our world as the ley lines purge the infection from themselves. I did what I could to keep my city as safe as possible from this cataclysm, but from my divination magic and my scryings, it looks like the moon is quite close to our world now. I believe we have only days until it occurs. No way to stop it, and he laughs, but believe we are on the right path to the best possible outcome. This path, curiously enough, changed mere hours ago, and looks at Antyr when he says, changed mere hours ago.
I wonder why.
Fate, the threads of fate are a curious beast. No one really knows how they work.
Okay.
And then, all right, that's enough questions. Just out of nowhere, just gets immediately dismissal. He's very old, and he's aided up by Ermine, guiding him towards a cane, and he begins limping towards the scattered array of information upon his table. Why is this so clean now? Anyways, the Leyline you beheld on your journey here shall guide you up and beyond this place into the city called Cocoon. Have you heard of this city before?
No.
Perfect. Simply ascend the ley line, for oddly enough, the ley lines are akin to the roots of a grand tree. Isn't that fascinating? It's a big tree. When the grand restoration commences in but a few days, seek out this mighty tree. If my scrying holds true, it resides within Drakewood Desert of the continent of Castletoine. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
We have come from there.
they are quite knowledgeable, Ramain. This tree serves as the anchor for our ley lines, and I believe uncovering the source of infection within its heart shall yield the best outcome for us all. Consider my divination. Currently, 5% of the population of the world will survive the Grand Restoration.
And we are trying to get what number are we aiming for?
Whatever number is best. 100% would be ideal, but
That will happen. All right.
I did. Then he just begins rummaging through the clutter.
Andrew's going to cast Chrono Recall on this poncho.
Cool. Roll a d20.
Oh shit.
You still wishing to do that? You call it.
I am.
Okay.
With a 12.
Do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
You cast Chrono Recall on the poncho. Yeah, it's entirely him just pacing this room. Because I think it only tells you the first, like, it doesn't go like full in depth of the item's history.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so you do it, and
I forgot.
it's just an image of the poncho hanging on the coat rack and watching this old man sleep most of the time. So there you go. Just him like.
Andrew's gonna stuff the poncho into the backpack.
Okay.
Outside of this, we've all heard about this tree and about how Mr. Asshole himself that I can't recall.
Aelinor?
Eleanor?
Mm-hmm.
They want to bust up this tree in some fashion, or not bust it up, but like
Auntie Gothel told you
do
that.
something. I know Gothel
Yeah,
wants something to do with
Gothel explained that she's a guardian of fate. She's a protector of this tree, as are many other creatures that exist, and anyone seeking to harm such tree would be brutally taken care of. She informed you that Aelinor doesn't seek to actually harm the tree because the tree needs to be intact for the weave to remain intact. And Aelinor's plan is to control the weave and use this devourer of magic you've heard about, that you and Antyr witnessed in the dreaming, that Feywild domain. And Aelinor seeks to use that entity to consume the weave as it unravels from the Grand Restoration and basically have all of the magic while not a single other creature does.
Yeah, and I think Grin mentioned how if we stop Aelinor, someone else might like swoop in.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to
yeah.
We're trying to guide it to the best possible
outcome. Mm-hmm. And this guy told you, as of right now, the best possible outcome is 5% of this population of the world survives. Essentially, yes, I am resetting my setting because it's got a lot of problematic shit in it, and I want a fucking fresh, clean slate.
hard reset.
So it's a hard, clean slate. And judging on how well you guys do in this campaign, that determines how many people survive
Great.
the reset.
No
Great.
pressure.
We just stay here. We just hang out with old no man.
Let's hang out in Silger until,
You know what? Let's just
Think
get a
about it.
house with a couple of guys. You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
so,
Chill.
yeah.
Settle down. 5.5 men.
But the Grand Restoration basically repairs the ley lines and gets them out of their infected state. If that doesn't happen, we get to do a post-apocalyptic campaign at some point in the future, which is fun, but no magic whatsoever.
Jeez.
Anyways,
So I'm sorry. I just want to get this straight.
yeah,
So there has to be a grand restoration, or there's no more magic.
correct. The ley lines basically
Will
destroy the world
disintegrate.
and then disintegrate themselves, but then if the anchor tree remains and the infection within that tree is taken care of, the ley lines get repaired during this renewal, and
Okay.
We keep magic flowing.
and you keep magic going. And next campaign isn't fucking depressing.
Yeah, I love magic. So, all right. So the only way that you're
And this
saying
all
to get
started because of the previous party.
Yay!
Yay!
We're fixing our previous party's bullshit. All right, but also to clarify, he said the way to escape from here was through the city of Cocoon.
Yep. He said the
Which
ley
is
line that you
pedo-
saw outside, it
Yes.
winds its way up through this lower dark region, through that city, and that city has been sending
Got it. Okay.
those people affected by the cathadium crystals, which turns them into those things after a long exposure, using them in the fighting pits, realizing they don't work out well in the fighting pits, and then being like, nah, and just banishing them lower.
Antyr's gonna look toward Torger.
Torger would not have fought any of these things in the fighting pits, so it would be a recent thing.
Okay, so the cathadium crystals weren't used Torger didn't use cathadium crystals in their
No, but yeah.
combat.
Basically explaining
Okay.
exposure to cathadium is bad. Because it is basically the infection seeping out of the ley lines like an abscess and forming like an infected,
Antyr's gonna look at Hopper.
Yeah, you guys have a cathadium on your person somewhere.
I have 8 cathadium crystals.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of, because I did want to start a line of questioning.
Sure.
Hopper has been ever since the mention of cathadium crystals, he's kind of subtly stuck his hand into the pouch where he has
Yeah.
all 8 of the cathadium crystals and has kind of been fidgeting with them. Did we clock that Guardian Pashan's staff was made of cathadium?
You probably would now.
Okay.
But that staff was left
Oh
behind.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's left in the ether somewhere. Is that
Hopper's fault.
not bitter at all, it's fine.
But you would also remember that sorry. That Guardian Pashan was shipping cathadium crystals to the sanctuary capital cities and was going to be using those to protect them from the Grand Restoration, but because Guardian Pashan died prematurely, they never got to finish that. And that's why Anundial City was at the bottom of the ocean you just passed through.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
shit's
think
happening.
Hopper will just pull out one of the cathadium crystals. It's like these when we left before a lot of these conjunctions started happening. These cathadium crystals you were speaking of, they were starting to appear everywhere as a possible prevention or protection of this convergence.
The magic is quite potent. I use them to displace the city between 2 moments in time. Although the magic is potent, I would recommend against using it. Even touching it could infect you.
Is there a safe window? These are very powerful, as you said yourself. They could be useful.
It depends on the individual. The affliction, as I said, most of my research notes that I would be able to recall the information from are in my laboratory. I don't remember the intricate details, but no good ever comes from using them. The infection and what happens to the afflicted isn't worth the price.
Are there any dangers within the palace that we must be mindful of?
Huh. I have detained many creatures from the hives you may have encountered on your journey here. In my early days of being down here, I sought to study them to unravel why exposure to Casidium transforms them into such horrors. Yet as illness befell me and I became bedridden, I ordered Ermine to release them, fearing they would starve, because they are still, deep down, people. Now, they likely roam unchecked within the laboratory. Thankfully, they are confined to our time, gesturing to everyone in here, unable to harm those sheltered within the temporal displacement. They now act on instinct alone, and that is hunger. They are insatiably ravenous. The sickness has rendered them blind, but their earring surpasses most. I urge caution, for confronting a whole pack of them would be dire. But that should be the only dangers down there.
Well, I think we need to make the trip to uncover your notes to get them here. And Vonkar, you'll have a full run of the city, even more.
Appreciate that, yes.
Yes,
Try to
without
retain it
exploring, take what you can. I believe that you can see the memory starts to lapse. Before I forget, because you're shuffling on the table, he produces. Even I forgot he was doing this. He produces 6 golden vials of like an amber liquid. I use these elixirs to alleviate the pain and the exhaustion I feel from my daily existence. If you each drink one of these, it should alleviate the exhaustion I can see on some of your faces. Essentially, he's giving you elixirs to remove all levels of exhaustion.
Tell me why the first place my brain went was Cerveza Cristal.
Sure. He hands you 6
Good.
vials of Cerveza Cristal.
Have you seen those videos?
No. But he does hand you 6 of these little tiny diamond-shaped vials with like a golden, effervescent amber liquid inside. Yes, there's the only thing that does keep me upright most days, but from what I assume, you're all quite young. Looks towards Vonkar. Not you, but you're all more upright than I am, and I think they would benefit you more. I could handle a day or 2 of pain.
Antyr is going to pocket theirs because they
Okay.
are okay.
But yeah, if any of you drink this, your current levels of exhaustion go down to 0.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was okay, cool.
I never enjoyed this one. Glug glug.
Yeah, you instantly feel like energized, and all of your levels of exhaustion are gone.
Vonkar did not have levels of exhaustion anymore because he only got one
Yeah.
ever, so he just
Yeah,
hands it back.
Grin and Torger were the ones that were most like dire.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, Torger pops it.
Yeah, again, you just feel like instantly energized, and the still the aches and pain that are present in your joints from all the trekking and walking and travel is just gone
Standing backflip.
easily. This is the most limber you've felt in a long time.
Oh wow! Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, unfortunately, I had to keep my laboratory outside of the displacement to safeguard the city, as I explained those things running amok. Below, you shall find elixirs granting temporary immunity to the corruptive nature of the Leylines, protecting you from the sickness that I explained that permeates them, as they are still quite infected. To reach the basement, you must first locate the entrance of the palace and go to the 6th floor. Seek out the door labeled Arcane Legislature, and beyond that you will discover the passage leading down into my laboratory.
All right.
Right.
Again, it's been some time since people have... Actually, It's been no time since people have showed up. No one has ever come. So, since you are the first, you are the ones I am choosing to help.
Do you want some food from the surface?
Oh, yes, please. It's been so long since I've eaten from the surface. Although,
Hardtack.
although,
Yeah.
although Ermine does get me food from the city, so actually I haven't been missing it. I've never had this before, though.
Yeah, have some.
This old man goes to eat hardtack and just can't
Just
chew
wanna
it.
suckle on it for a bit to
I don't like it.
Oh, it's alright. Sorry.
As he begins to make his way back to the bed, you can see the fatigue and pain setting back in pretty quickly. The palace, it isn't too far from here. Shouldn't take you more than an hour to reach it. Feel free to take anything of value you may find on your ways there and within the palace. The temporal displacement will return the objects to their rightful place and state when the displacement ends, whenever it ends. So, for example, you could take a little mango, and then when the displacement ends, whenever it ends, that mango will return to its rightful place in its rightful state. It's strange. I don't know how it works. And he lays down, and Ermine covers him with the blankets again. Best wishes, dear friends. Should you require any assistance or have inquiries, please do not hesitate to contact me. I am equipped to relay your questions to my creator.
Alright.
And you can see Deverin begins to, old man fall asleep.
Okay,
Should we get going?
yeah, let's head out.
Good luck, friends. And that
Yeah, thanks.
magical
Ermine.
smile appears again. And he just sits at the bedside, just staring at Deverin.
With existence, oh man.
Hey, Antyr.
Huh.
You know, what's it called? Alchemy?
Yes.
What did he say we look for those elixirs, right? That he said would protect from the corruption?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if this guy had something that would protect from corruption, he had to have had some notes maybe down there that might help him out, but he forgot.
Good idea.
Maybe we keep an eye out for anything that, maybe we could help him out. Maybe we could find something.
I worry about the ingredients. Procuring any kind of these elixirs.
Maybe that's what, you know what? Maybe that's
Yeah.
what why he couldn't do it, and then he forgot. So, who knows if we got what he needs? We've been on the surface and he hasn't, so.
That's true.
Right. As you all make your way down the stairs, exiting through the ramshackle, lower floor where all these documents have just been thrown about, emerging from the tower, your gaze is drawn northward to a majestic palace that commands the majority of the skyline, adorned with exquisite orange banners. They dance gracefully in the gentle, illusionary breeze that meanders through the city. And he told you it'd be about an hour walk to get there.
Vonkar, we can sightsee a bit for this hour walk.
Appreciate that.
Take note. I don't think we can take much from the city. It seems like it bounced back to where it belongs.
Yeah, he said you can take stuff, but it'll bounce back when the time displacement ends, whenever it ends.
Oh, when the time
Yeah,
displacement
so that
ends.
could be
Got it.
years from now, decades, millennia. Whenever it breaks, anything that was taken would just reappear where it was. It's weird.
We'll investigate the palace a bit. Maybe that could have more information you're looking for.
Yeah, if we could just get to a high point for a minute, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. I'd just like to draw out a little map.
You probably could have done that when you were in the room, because he had a balcony that overlooked the city.
Oh yeah, true. So
Yeah.
could Vonkar have been doing that?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
While we were talking, he's like set up the cartographer tools and just be like taking
Yeah.
a map of the city this whole time. Oh, cool, awesome.
He has the easel set up, and he's like,
Yeah, the main thing is the palace, because it just dominates so much of the city. And there's like tiny little like streams that run through the city, like canals that people use. Yeah. As you all walk, is anyone looking out for any valuables on the walk? He said you could take stuff if you wanted to.
"Give me an eye out
All
for
right.
anything that might
Uh,
pique interest."
cool.
Yeah, that would also be Torger.
If anyone's looking for anything that might pique any interest along the walk that could be considered valuable and usable, you can make investigation checks, or you can use your passive investigation for this.
Oh man,
I might as
My
well try
passive
an
investigation is 14.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so you
do
can choose to use your passive or roll.
mine.
Yeah.
But you can't.
I'm
you
gonna
can't.
go
You
for
then. You
passive.
can't choose passive after you roll, though.
Oh, let's see.
I'm gonna go for passive.
Mine's +0.
Okay.
So it's good to just have an even roll.
I'm gonna
for-
attempt it.
Okay, so
I'm glad I attempted it.
what'd you get?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As you're all
What?
walking,
Well, roll.
as you're all walking up the street, the sand courses, you can hear like you don't hear anything, but yeah, you can just see people like. If you're a person with social anxiety, you'd be bumping into all these people, and it would be a nightmare. But there is no like physical contact. You're just like people are just like phasing through you, and you're walking
It's a
through
really
people.
weird nightmare dream.
Yeah. Antyr, something catches your eye by like a roadside stall, like a shipping crate that hasn't like fully unloaded their wares. You see a opulent potion bottle studded in gems, and inside is a healing potion. You find a supreme healing potion,
Ooh,
which is the best one.
it takes a lot of hits. They're gonna walk over to Hopper.
I was not gonna say me, but okay.
So do you pluck the potion out of the crate?
I do.
Yeah, you can physically grab it and you pull it out, and while you do it, yeah, the person who's like working and delivering the potions reaches into the crate and it looks like they're holding something that they're not though.
Oh God. Oh, that's so crazy. But Antyr will walk over to Hopper. An olive branch.
Hopper looks at it, looks up to you, just nods and takes the potion and tucks it into their bag.
Okay,
Or into his bag.
that cannot be found again. All right, Hopper, you did passive.
Yes.
Okay. You see like a stall that's selling weird items. One hasn't been sold yet. It's a lantern set with a blinking eye.
Ooh. I'll go check it out. Pick it up.
Okay, you pick it up. It's just got like an eye on the front of it.
Could I cast Identify on it?
Yeah, roll a d20.
14.
14. Yeah, identify. It is a lantern of revealing.
Ooh.
Very cool.
And
I'm trying to roll it. I'm gonna have to roll, just on hard dice because I don't know why it's not letting me roll on
all right.
D&D Beyond. But here you go. Let's roll. That's a 16.
16. You spot the lantern just as Hopper nabs it. 14 to 16 was the lantern. So, did Grin do a check or
Yeah, 4.
4? Nothing.
Yeah.
Actually, you find a ball, like a tiny little ball, just like that rolled away somewhere.
I slip on it.
That's how you find it. Yeah, you find this little ball that somebody was playing with and they lost it. Did Vonkar do one?
No, Vonkar is focusing on taking in the sights and taking notes, so that is the valuable
Perfect.
that he is currently working
All
on
right.
collecting.
Cool. So that's what you all find on your little walk.
Nice.
And eventually, the palace is incredibly busy. The grounds, akin to an oasis, adorned with delicate palm trees casting dappled shade over tranquil ponds where the affluent rest, sipping on fruity beverages. Vigilant guards patrol the area wielding menacing hooked halberds. The palace itself stands as a masterpiece of architectural intricacy, boasting captivating designs and minute, painstaking details. Like the bricks that form the perimeter wall, they're like designs etched into the stone that would have taken like months to etch in. Just one brick, and it's every brick of this perimeter fence. Arched walkways crisscross the grounds, extending the interior corridors out into the open air. The scent of wine, tropical fruits, and fragrant oils permeates the atmosphere, and a grand staircase curves upward to the palace entrance, flanked by two rather imposing guards clad in spiked but beautifully made armor. And yeah, even here the eerie quiet remains, amidst the hundreds of people that are just celebrating outside, drinking, hanging out in these cool ponds and relaxing, and it's all just silent.
Antyr stares longingly at the pond, wanting a bath, wanting to be clean.
The water it's like a
I
deep
know.
cerulean. It looks so cold.
I resist.
Various
as we make our way up.
Various flowers float atop the surface of the water as you have to pass by all these pools. So,
I know.
there are about 12 of these large, well-maintained ponds built into the courtyard of the palace. The water is a deep cerulean color, and various flowers float atop the surface, and various people of clearly vast wealth relax both in the water and around it in hammocks. Platters rest on various tables, and the platters are set with various prepared tropical fruits, mostly consisting of pineapple, mango, dragon fruit, durian, and passion fruit. Other platters hold fruity drinks garnished with slices of prickly pear. And that's what you're passing by to get to the palace. That's the courtyard you're walking through.
It's gonna be like hors d'oeuvres. Antyr's just gonna walk past and snatch up a couple of pineapples and one of the martini glass with the umbrellas, and is just going to indulge in a luxury item
Sure.
in this place that isn't luxurious.
Yeah,
like
you eat this 400.
in the Underdark.
You eat this technically 400-year-old fruit, but it's
Yeah.
fresh, but it's not. It's weird. It's 400 years old, but it's fresh. The drinks are made with prickly pear juice, which is like a pear that grows on cactuses, honey, and agave nectar. There are also little decanters of red wine that is smooth, silky, and delicious.
Yeah. Antyr's just gonna indulge, just have a minor indulging moment.
Okay. So you all see Antyr just pick from these platters as you walk through.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Grin's gonna go and grab one of the dragon fruit and just twist the
Yeah.
top off of it and then just
Oh,
Uh,
so good.
Vonkar is taking notes on the types of fruit that he can identify that are
Okay.
native to the
Yeah.
place, and particularly any ones that he notes as not being typically found in above ground silver.
Okay.
Ones that would be like, oh, that's out of the ordinary. That might maybe my niece could figure out based on the biodiversity of the food where this is supposed to be in the world.
Passion fruit, definitely not. Durian. Also probably not. Yeah, the durian, the smell of durian is very overwhelming and potent. It smells like cheese and onion and dirty socks.
Of your durian.
I do like durian. Um, it smells bad, and then it tastes like onions for a second, and then it gets really sweet. It's great. Does Antyr have any durian? I doubt they've ever had durian before.
They're not going to.
The
They're
smell,
gonna stick
the
to-
smell alone is just like,
Nope, hard
Smells
pass.
like ass.
Yep, no thanks.
all right. So just through this, just everyone just grabbing little snacks of fruit and drinks. The drinks aren't the only alcoholic drink is the wine. The fruit juice is not alcoholic. It's meant to be more refreshing,
Yeah.
and thirst quenching.
Trying to think back since when they had a fucking moment like this.
Yeah, right here is just an
To
oasis.
chill at a fucking
There's an
city
oasis. Everyone is relaxing here.
that wasn't fucked with the Feywild and underwater and Port Crete. It's the first chill city we've been
Yeah,
to.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but there's basically no people in it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yet there are.
Exactly.
But they're not.
There are, but there aren't.
Weirdly,
He's
Antyr's
retired
like,
now.
this is the perfect environment.
weirdly,
All these people make this stuff for me, and I don't have
yeah.
to deal with them at all.
It's perfect. Oh man, it's so great. In one of the ponds, there's somebody like splashing about, and the water like splashes up towards Antyr as you pass. But strangely, the water just phases through you because it's somebody else agitating
So
it.
when they interact with the time weirdness,
It phases
it
through you. The water-
maintains into that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like, there's a wave of water that comes towards you, gonna ruin your hair,
It's that slow motion turn. Oh no!
and then it just goes
Oh.
through you.
Far less dramatic.
You don't even feel the cool refreshingness of it.
I
It's
know.
just and yeah, the sun continues to beat down on a hot summer day in a desert. And you pass through and you approach the stairs and start climbing up to the entrance. Okay. Yeah, you get to the front doors. They're like large stone doors flanked by these two guards wearing like spiked armor and wielding halberds, and yeah, you just come up to the doors.
Can we open them?
The doors
Are they open?
The doors open. The doors make a sound when they open.
Makes sense.
Because, yeah, they're not displaced. Just the
Hey
people, just
guys,
the
don't
people
do
are.
that.
Yeah. Imagine it's like the royal guards. Where it's like they stay perfectly
Yeah, they're just like
unmoving.
perfectly still, watching all the people in revelry down below, and these guys are just straight faced. They don't wear helmets. They're just
Yep.
stern. They don't look like a lot of fun. Opening the doors, you see a grand 6-floor foyer adorned with meticulously patterned tile flooring and staircases that rise up to each level. Within, guards and inhabitants alike move purposefully through the palace's interior, their demeanor markedly more solemn and focused than the relaxed figures outside. It just seems like these people are working.
Right, we have a destination. 6th floor. Arcane. What did he say?
Legislature.
Arcane's. I imagine we're going to have to meet. Okay, so we needed something in his office to get into the laboratory underneath.
Yeah, he said the laboratory is in the entrance is in his office on the 6th floor.
But then it would take us underneath
Yeah.
the palace. What we can infer. Okay.
Yeah, there's like numerous staircases going to each floor. There's numerous doors all over the place. There's people milling in and around the place. It's chaotic and silent.
Ugh.
Like, you can see a guy yelling at people, but he's like he's like silent screaming.
He's on mute.
All right.
Out to the 6th floor then?
The 6th floor.
Okay.
Alright. Wonder what all these guys are up to. Oh well.
There's like a grand, like, gold fountain. I keep saying grand, but it's the best way to describe things here. There's a massive gold fountain in the foyer that depicts like a massive sphinx killing a dragon, and it's just like where the dragon's being bit on the neck. That's where the fountain, the water, comes out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
That's fun.
the fountain is just filled with coins, and as you get like climbing up the stairs, you can kind of see down into the fountain. You see it's just filled with coins, and there's a guy in like a banana yellow colored robe sitting on the edge of the fountain, kind of away from everybody, and he's holding like a book, and he's like just gesticulating around while he talks to nobody. And then occasionally like somebody walks by, laughs at him, and then keeps going.
Aw.
And he just continues to do it, doesn't care. But yeah, looking down
Look
from the
at that.
fountain, there's probably like thousands of gold coins in the fountain, just all scattered about. You can see like someone sneaking in to try to take some coins out of the fountain, and they're quickly like ushered away by, not ushered away, but like chased off by a guard.
Hey guys, you want to get some money?
Are we gonna need it anytime soon?
I mean, who knows, right?
The world's ending.
Yeah. But not everybody knows that.
And also,
You're very true.
you're technically
Very
not
true.
stealing the money. It would come back when the displacement ends.
Yeah.
Do you want to swoop down and grab you a couple handfuls?
Yeah,
Well, I
it
wouldn't
sounds,
take it.
it sounds
I mean,
like it's borrowing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see how much I can carry. I probably can't carry much. So, if other people want to help,
I can. Wait,
Yeah,
who
I
has
could-
the? Yeah, how's
I
Feeny?
could-
Can't he hold some coin?
I was going
I
to
can hold
ask-
so much coins, man.
Ooh. And then I
Just
just start
fucking
running.
run me through that
oh,
fountain.
here's this video.
Mhm.
Yeah. Don't run me through the fountain. I don't want to swallow water because that might break my capacity.
Oh,
How did the Magus reach just to kind of take scoopfuls and just?
Roll 66.
Oh God.
Everyone who's going?
One person. This is collective gathering of coins.
Ah,
So one
okay,
person
okay.
rolls 66.
Oh, I'll let Grin
Show
go. You
66?
roll it, Grin. You wanted to do it. I didn't want to do it, Grin. You could do it.
66.
One.
Oh, that'd be rough.
Yeah. Imagine.
All right, 66. Here we go. All ones. Yeah, almost half of them are ones.
Beautiful.
No.
That's 8,
Cool.
11, 12, 13, 14.
14 total?
Yeah.
Alright.
Oof.
Big
Uh,
oof-a-doof.
So collect. Who's all helping Grin do this? Collect the coins. Okay. So it's a lot of coins you're collecting. So I'll say this takes about half an hour.
Mhm.
You get 1,400 gold into Hildisvini. So 1,400 gold pieces
Oh
into
God, that's so
Hildisvini.
much more. It's crazy.
Yeah, that should do it. That's pretty good.
Let's give Vonkar plenty of time to illustrate this interior here.
You're in-
He's
you're-
like taking rubbings of like some of the the texture of the wall, like
Yeah, like-
Oh,
any
nice.
like etching
Smart.
into the walls. He's
Yeah.
like taking
Yeah,
rubbings
it
of
look,
it and stuff.
every brick. It's brick by brick. They built this place, and
Like
Mhm.
Brick by
every brick
the-
has the meticulous detail etched into stone. Each brick
a
would have
rubbing
taken,
of that would be so cool.
each brick would have taken like weeks to do the etching into it. It's like etched with like it's got like rose vines etched into it, and then like what looked like wind, like someone etched out like a breeze into each stone. Like it looks like they etched out like the natural flora of the continent throughout each stone, and it's meticulous detail.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, you guys get 1,400 gold.
Woo!
If you decide to split it up, it's 280 gold each.
I'm not worried about it. I'll keep my pleasure.
Yeah, we won't worry about it. It's
Cool.
all in Hildesvini.
How Sweeney.
Oh yeah, Hildesvini just downs it. Cool. You guys head up to the 6th floor then?
The 6th floor.
Cool.
Hey, Torger, while we're making our way up there, could you ask Hildesvini if you can procure that gem that we acquired?
Why don't you just ask me
Sapphire.
yourself?
Well, I don't want to like awkwardly reach into you while
You can
Torger's
do it.
walking. They're further down. It's Hildesvini, can I grab the sapphire gem from you?
That depends. What do I get? No, yeah, you can. And opens up his mouth. It's like reaching into a boar's mouth.
Gross. But it's gonna take the elemental gem, the sapphire.
Perfect.
It's gonna hold on to that
All right.
just in case.
On the 6th floor, the palace's denizens are notably sparse compared to the lower levels of the palace. The few individuals that do traverse these halls betray no hint of emotion upon their faces. Their focus remains solely fixed on their jobs, their duties. At the far end of the main corridor stands a door labeled Arcane Legislature, adorned with a plaque bearing the name Magister Deverin Morharrow. Hanging up on either side of the door are 2 pots where leafy ferns grow.
Door open. Is it openable?
It's locked.
Oh.
Didn't give you a key.
Oh, shit. Is anybody good at opening doors that are locked?
I am.
Yeah, I mean, I am.
Grin pulls out his sword.
Okay, no.
I
Gently.
pull out my thieves' tools.
Wow.
Gingerly.
Torger balls his fists like, oh.
Antyr, with your passive investigation,
Next door.
you don't have to reveal this, but with your passive investigation, you can see a spare key sitting in the left hanging pot.
The magic reach is gonna subtly float down there and is gonna scoop it up and just bring it and put it into Antyr's pocket, but not say anything. Let Hopper have their moment.
All right, Hopper. So you're like head level to the lock on the door.
Yeah, it's like perfect. I'm not hunched. I'm
Nope.
not ruining my knees by kneeling.
right.
It's great.
Make a dexterity check using your thieves' tools.
All right, I am proficient, so that is a +7.
Wow, it's better than Druck.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not. No, are you freaking kidding me? Are you
One?
freaking-
If it's a nat 1, your
It's a nat-
thieves' tool breaks.
No.
You have mending though.
We have mending, so you're in there and you
Yeah.
feel the lockpick break off in the lock.
Man. Pull it out. Start trying to mend it.
Yeah, you can pull out some of it. It breaks inside the lock.
Oh.
Mm.
So you can still mend it. Like basically, it's just a
Yeah.
shorter. It's just gonna be like a shorter little
Yeah.
pick. It's still gonna work, but yeah, there's still a piece of it stuck inside the
Yeah.
lock mechanism.
Look, just insert it into the lock, cast mending, and then pull it out.
I could do that.
It's like if you break your key in the lock, you just stick your key in with
Oh,
hot, super
wouldn't that
glue.
be-
You-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That's what I've been told.
I'll do a 5-minute craft
Don't do that. What if
to
it-
mend my
See,
lockpicks.
But then what if it like? Okay. Yeah.
You don't do a huge. It just mends the whole thing
Oh,
together.
shit. Yeah, you can mend it back together and pull the
Yeah.
this arduous process into here. You can see
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
breaks.
it's like a minute.
You see it breaks instantly, and then they're like casting mending to fix their, and then eventually they pull the broken lockpick out of the keyhole.
Papa, let me have a
Mhm.
try. And Antyr's gonna get down, kind of squat a little bit, but as they do, the Magus Reach is gonna slowly crawl up the arm like that, like a
Yeah,
like a magician would, and they're gonna have the key in one hand.
that's
and
sleight
they're
of,
going
that's sleight of hand.
Okay.
Can I make a perception check to
No, this you don't know. You're not.
judgingly watch
no.
Antyr do
14.
No, this is against your passive perception.
It's a
Fuck.
14.
this?
What? I mean, it beat it.
14,
By 1.
14 is the highest passive perception. I think it's Torger's.
Oh, nice.
So Torger would
None of us are
see
very wise.
Torger would see the key come up that you found, and you unlock. Everybody hears Antyr unlock the door.
And the key is slid back into the to the oh, they don't have actually. No, it's gonna grab the hand. Is gonna the magistrate's gonna grab it. Just
They
like
don't really have
slide
sleeves.
Down. I don't. No, I forget.
Yeah.
It
about
comes
that
out of the
sometimes.
skin. The office appears cramped, bearing the chaotic semblance of a mind unhinged. Its walls are adorned with maps depicting continents, each marked with intricate green threads delineating the ley lines. Scribbled across these maps are cryptic musings on infections, convergence points, and timeline discrepancies. The map of Cathatooine, which he has, which is funny because it still would have been sealed away when it's his time. It's there, and it's got the same markings that your guys' map that Vonkar keeps hold of, with all the ley lines drawn out on it. Same one, but instead of like red ink, this one has like green threads. So yeah, scribbled across all these maps are cryptic musings on infections, convergence points, and timeline discrepancies. But he has the ley lines laid out on every continent, not just Cathatooine. And other strange phrases are kind of etched on the maps. Amongst the myriad of scribblings on the map, one particularly intriguing one catches the eye. It portrays the shattered moon of Tyne, surrounded by the intertwining green threads resembling the ley lines, and it bears a cryptic inscription. The ley lines will bring down the moon, and the cataclysm shall herald the world's end. Through this destruction, a renewal shall emerge, the grand restoration. So he even knew about this a long time ago. A sizable crescent-shaped desk dominates the space, cluttered with aged notes, many of which have been defaced with vehement scrawls declaring them false, obsolete, or worse. Like he just took his notes and just scribbled on them, saying, false, obsolete, you idiot. Amidst the clutter rests a glass jar, its lid securely fastened with a lock, enclosing a radiant piece, like a brightly glowing piece of green cathadium crystal. With a note glued to the jar that reads, "Rock cathadium, highly dangerous, do not touch." More like it's a reminder for himself. And against one wall stands a wardrobe. Its door is secured by a multitude of locks, each differing in size, make, and complexity. A lot of locks for a wardrobe. And they're all like on the outside, just like keeping that thing secured and shut. So yeah, you see all the continent maps just scribbled on with like just says infections, convergence points, timeline discrepancies. You see he's drawn the moon, the broken moon in the sky that everybody sees, but is now slowly, that you guys have seen, the moon's been kind of like brought together into one singular piece from the ley lines that are currently wrapped around it. And it says, yeah, the ley lines will pull this down and it'll crash into the world, and everything happens when that happens. And yeah, crescent moon-shaped desk with stuff all over it.
Why do you think that wardrobe's got all those locks on it? Do you think there's a really sharp outfit in there?
Probably. Let's try to open it.
It's got 4 locks.
I'm just gonna start looking through the desk to see if there's anything inside of it.
Just more mad scribblings that are really coherent. Just.
Do you think this guy's a guy that would trap anything? He would put a trap?
Funny, I don't have the ability.
As Antyr's digging through the desk.
We've exploded me before.
No
on a
traps.
desk, so
This place feels relatively safe. Man, imagine trapping a room and then having memory issues and not remembering where you put your traps.
Just like,
but you can see magic, right?
I can.
Will you look for magic, please?
I'll cast Detect Magic.
Cool, roll a d20.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
What if... Wait, real quick.
19.
What's
I
up?
was gonna say, what if you mentioned the like placing traps, but with memory issues and a heavy thing. Like, what if though you placed magic traps that had an enchantment on them that like you see a symbol or something, and if you remember the symbol after a certain amount of time, you take psychic damage. So like it's like you're specifically protected from your traps by having memory problems.
That's a good trap.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a divination wizard, as he described by his spells and his scrying. A divination wizard with memory issues. So everything he divines, he forgets.
Do I detect
Yeah,
magic?
the cathadium crystal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Torger, could you
what
put that
color
in
is it?
his sweetie?
I'm not eating that.
Oh.
Fuck
I can
that.
take it.
It says
I would
do not
assume the
touch.
risk.
So did he say that we could find elixirs in here somewhere that would help against corruption from
No,
the
those will be
magic?
below. Those are in the laboratory.
Oh,
He said at the entrance to his laboratory is in his office.
Yeah, most of what we need to acquire is within the laboratory, it seems.
right. All right. Well, let's rummage around. Let's see if we can't find something. Any important notes, and then I guess unlock doors for whoever can unlock doors. Or maybe we could just look for a key. Maybe there's a key around here that can unlock the doors.
Nothing within the desk indicates a key. But I'll start gathering up notes, and Anty's going to start pulling down the maps and rolling them up.
Dick. Key.
Do I feel
Key?
like the
I
key
didn't
would
see any
fit?
key.
Do I feel like the key that would fit?
Yeah. The key looks
Oh.
like it's universal to the locks. The locks
Got
on
it.
the wardrobe are very intricate in design. Looks like they're hard. They get increasingly more difficult to like break into. But strangely, the one key looks like it's universal. It's like a universal key, skeleton key. That's the word I needed.
Yeah.
It's like a skeleton key for the door of the office and all these locks.
Could I
Hey,
attempt?
Look at this key that I just found,
And
guys.
to be
No,
fair,
I'm
your
gonna-
sleight of hand check to conceal the key didn't beat Torger's passive perception. For
Torger knows.
Torger's aware you have a key that you use to unlock the door.
Could Antyr try to, wherever Grin begins to look about, could Antyr try to slip it with the Magic's Reach, try to slip it into a hidey area
Yeah.
next to Grin,
That's
so
a-
it looks like the Grin
Yeah.
can find it?
This sleight of hand check, yeah, against Grin's
A
passive
7.
perception. Okay, everyone sees Antyr go to place like Grin. You're looking through like the desk or whatever, like looking through like important stuff. And Antyr's right beside you. See Antyr going to hide a key. right in
Why
front
are
of you.
you putting a key on to Grin?
Oh, I found a key.
Oh, look! Grin found a key!
You're holding it.
Mhm.
Oh. Oh. Crazy. Yeah, here you go. And
Yeah,
Antyr's gonna
Yeah,
toss it to
but yeah,
Grin.
Hilda's Vinny's like, you're not putting that cathadium in me. It says do not touch.
How big is it?
It's a glass jar about like this big with a hunk of green cathadium in it, and it's
Is it
got,
bigger than the crystals we have?
Yes, not by
Yeah.
like you guys will have like tiny little ones like this big or
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
This one is like
Oh, shit.
Like the size of a fist.
I said like
Yeah,
like plum
Like a
size,
softball
plum
almost?
plum
Yeah,
size.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Hey Hopper, with your magic eyes,
the size
can
of
you-
a tangerine.
with your magic eyes, Hopper, can you tell if that could be weaponized?
It is very likely.
Is there magic on the
I'm-
container there? Maybe suppressing the.
There's no magic on the container. The container's just locked, like with a hinge
Okay.
laid with it's locked.
No, it is merely locked. The container itself is not magical. I assume it is to prevent someone from just touching it, getting their hands on it.
Alright.
Is the container attached to the surface it's sitting on at all? Or
The-
could we like pocket the container itself?
You can pocket the whole thing.
Okay.
You want to do that, or do you want me to hold on to it? You have a lot. I have one.
It is up to you.
I'll take it. So a raw cathadium crystal,
Yeah,
plum size. Okay.
and it's green.
Locked within a jar. It's green. Oh, I have a green one too. It matches my set. And I have some dust. If anybody wants to snort some.
Yeah, you found the
Yes.
orc sailor in the brothel bathroom was snorting refined cathadium,
Yeah.
which was turned into a powder.
And green.
Oh yeah, this thing causes infections if you get near it. Let's go.
Locked
it's just
within
plutonium.
A... Is it a
Alright, let's
glass
see.
jar?
Alright, let's see what we can crack open with this.
He like takes the key and just starts putting it in locks.
Like the locks on the wardrobe, the only ones you can see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
he'll get to those as he makes his way across the room.
Yeah, there's no more. There's no other
Oh, you're
locks.
just unlocking everything.
Yeah.
It looks like it would unlock the.
Amazing.
It looks like it would unlock the jar that Antyr's putting away.
Oh, okay.
but it does also fit the locks on the wardrobe.
All right, click, 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 click.
Yep, wardrobe is now unlocked.
Do we want to look at anything else?
Antyr's
Go
gathering
grab
up the
some
maps.
notes?
Yeah, Antyr's grabbing up anything that looks important that doesn't have like self-deprecating writing on it.
Not everything's been like defaced.
Even the maps.
Even the map. Yeah, the maps are covered in scribbles of like words like infections, convergence points, timeline.
Oh, those are fine.
discrepancies.
I meant more the ones that said like false, obsolete.
Oh no. Okay, cool. Yeah,
You
that's
shitty
all.
person.
All of his notes on the
Those
table
things.
are just like he just wrote in big, like, letters: false, obsolete, you idiot, don't believe this.
Makes sense.
Is there any other interesting things that ping as magical while I have detect
Nope.
magic up? Okay, great.
But yeah, you.
Alright, let's crack this thing open and see what's inside. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Wardrobe open!
Within the wardrobe lie a collection of aged garments and worn shoes. While at the rear, a concealed compartment is discernible where a doorknob is situated squarely at the back wall of the wardrobe. There's just a doorknob.
Oh, look at that.
I'm gonna reach out and turn the knob. Open it.
It reveals a narrow spiral staircase that descends downwards, and a lone unlit oil lantern hangs on a hook just before the staircase on the other side of the false back.
Do we all need this,
Oh,
or can
seems
we?
about right.
Yeah, we can go without the lantern if needed.
Yeah, let's not use the lantern.
Yeah.
We don't want to scare anything.
I'll take the lantern though. We don't have to light it right now.
We need to be quiet too, because those creatures.
Can I add an oil
Yep.
lantern?
And you have an oil lantern.
Do we have a means of getting quieter or being quieter?
What was that?
Do you have a means of being quieter or staying quieter?
Yeah, I got something.
Oh,
Do you?
speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Before we
I
head down, I
cast
also.
Pass Without Trace.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, oh no.
They used that during the hives when you guys were sneaking through
Oh,
there.
that's right,
you know,
that's right,
last
that's
session.
right.
Alright.
I
Yeah.
don't remember Caleb using it, so that's where it threw me
Yeah.
off.
Torger, since you're casting a spell, I would like you to roll a d20.
Oh, shit.
I would love to roll a d20.
I'm also going to summon my Eldritch Cannon Protector.
Okay.
And give everyone a D10 of temp HP.
All right. Roll it and see what happens.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Is the lantern a bullseye or hooded?
Hooded.
Okay, thank you.
So Hop, roll that d10 and we'll see how many temporary HP everybody gets.
It's a D8 plus my intelligence,
Yeah.
so a D8 plus 4.
Okay, yeah. Roll it and see how everybody gets for temp HP.
Everyone gets 11 temp HP.
Nice.
Damn.
So
Very
you cast past Torger casts Pass Without Trace. Hopper, you summon your cannon. Grin grabs the lantern. Do you all descend downwards? Hello, friends. You descend the staircase. It's narrow. It's cramped. An environment that is strange for Grin, no longer being 8 inches tall.
Oh, this stinks.
But you keep climbing down, because where else are you going to go? Eventually, you... Helps if I'm on the right thing. The staircase comes into a expansive chamber. From the central hub, several corridors branch out in a labyrinthian network, flanked by, or covered by doors. Evidence suggests this chamber was once heavily fortified, with these thick stone doors that you can see secured by steel bars across small windows. The door directly ahead of you is barricaded by a barbed portcullis, and in the center of the portcullis is a spherical indentation. Now, the room is lined with long, orderly desks, each strewn with beakers, vials, and other alchemical apparatus. though their contents have long since evaporated or decayed. Any items of significance or worth appear to have been looted long ago or just left into ruin and disuse, leaving behind only remnants. Upon entering the chamber, a subdued hum begins to fill the air as ancient glyphs long dormant suddenly flash to life on the ceiling, filling the room in a faint purple glow. And yeah, there are 3 doors. One to the left, one to the right, and then the one directly ahead is barricaded by this portcullis and currently impassable. And the doors to the left and right are set with plaques denoting where they lead.
What do the plaques say?
The left door says Cathadium Research. The right door says Holding Cells. And the door that is barricaded and currently in the moment impassable says Experimentation in Arcane Reconstruction.
What do you guys say we go to the research?
Yeah, we could always, it's good to learn.
Seems like that might be where we can get those.
Elixirs, yeah.
Yeah, elixirs, that's the word.
Yeah, we could get all the stank potion we want.
Be on the lookout for any potential recipes that you can find, and any potential usable components.
And
Though I don't know.
I'm going to assume you're all talking quietly, just so the creatures that may be lurking down here don't hear. I'm assuming you're talking quietly so you don't have to whisper the entire time.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to assume
Yeah.
that's the case. Okay.
Yeah, we
Just
wouldn't know that,
ASMR
that
D&D
there's
for the
any.
next
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
No, but he
We
did.
wouldn't
He,
know that there's any, but we're
No.
still like,
Yeah.
this is a
he
very
did. Yeah. He
derelict place.
He just told you that he had some down here detained, and then one day he was like, "They're gonna starve if they're caged up," and he let them out. He told
Oh, right,
told
yeah.
Ermine to let them out because he's like, "They're still people. I don't want them to starve."
Yeah.
No, look at him.
No, yeah.
Gonna head to the left door.
Towards Cathadium Research.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you approach this like massive, thick stone door. You can pull it open, but it takes a lot of effort. The corridor extends forward for approximately 40 feet before abruptly veering to the right. So, the central chamber you are in is dimly lit. Everything beyond is dark.
Creatures are blind, right?
Yeah, they were blind, but their hearing is intense. You all begin to head down the corridor.
Yeah.
Am I remembering correctly that we had Pass Without Trace cast
You
spells,
do.
or was that
Pass
Okay,
without trace, yeah.
cool.
So, if you're doing it quietly,
Oh yeah.
stealth checks plus 10, everybody.
all right?
Alright.
Maybe this will go better. Maybe this will go better than the stocks did. The hive, rather.
Hopefully. Oh, alright.
Great start,
Bugger.
13.
Okay. If you recall,
17 total.
to evade these creatures, the DC was 17.
15 for me.
Ooh,
Okay.
28.
Okay, so Antyr, you got what?
15.
Okay. So 4 need to fail. 3 need to fail. Yeah. 'Cause there's 5 people. 15, Hopper, you got a
17 total.
meets the DC if that's what we're going by. Grin,
28.
28. Vonkar,
13.
that's with a plus 10.
Yup, rolled a 3 total.
Okay. Torger, muted.
You're muted.
He's so quiet I can't even hear him.
23.
Perfect. So you approach so yeah, you walk the 40 feet and you approach the sharp turn to the right. Do you keep going, or do you like...
Yeah, Grin's gonna
Okay.
Peekaboo.
Beyond this bend,
Reach.
it continues for another 15 feet, leading to what remains of a once formidable stone door, now reduced to rubble. It lies shattered, forcibly breached from the side you're on. So it was broken from this side. So the door is just, there's no door anymore, just poof, into another chamber, just completely destroyed.
Whoa.
But that's about 15 feet away.
Grin will just gesture people to catch up, and
Okay.
the coast is clear, kind of,
Yeah, you don't see anything.
right? Alright,
I assume Hopper's got the goggles on.
move forward.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's default at this point since we are not
Perfect.
really using light sources.
Okay. You all continue down the corridor, and there's a chamber beyond. You can enter the chamber beyond. And beyond is a small room, its floor strewn with shattered glass and debris from the demolished stone door. Corridors branch off to both the left and right from this chamber. Amidst the wreckage, an upturned desk stands as one of the few items left relatively intact, though old notes have been sent flying in every direction, while more notes stick out from one of the desk drawers. So the desk is kind of like upturned, and there's notes like sticking up out of a drawer, and then there's more notes scattered about the floor. And then 2 corridors left and right.
I'm gonna start collecting the notes up off the floor.
Okay. They are not ineligible and like mad ramblings like the previous ones. These look like these were left behind as like research notes.
Okay.
Do you read them out loud?
Yeah, I'll start reading them out. Like, I'll like skim them and then read aloud,
Okay.
like more audibly, the important bits.
The recovered notes indicate that each fragment of Cathadium embodies a distinct aspect of the magical weave, with its color corresponding to one of the diverse schools of magic. Exposure to both raw and refined forms of Cathadium results in enduring systemic effects. Initial symptoms manifest as memory loss, progressively replaced by recollections shared among afflicted individuals, so shared memories. These memories depict an alternate rendition of reality, suggestive of interdimensional bleed-through. Additionally, the documents characterize Cathadium as a form of infection that the Leylines actively attempt to expel, resulting in its proliferation akin to malignant growths. While Cathadium retains vestiges of the weave, and I'm going to post this in the group chat.
Okay.
While Cathadium retains vestiges of the weave, it does so in a corrupted state, and individuals exposed to it inevitably exhibit symptoms for which no known remedy exists once they manifest. This affliction, provisionally dubbed Cathadium sickness, pending further refinement, culminates in the total dissolution of individual identity, leading to a metamorphosis into a creature wholly driven by a singular instinct, hunger. As the condition progresses, the afflicted undergo a physical transformation, their skin assuming a pallid hue akin to milk. Concurrently, all senses save for hearing deteriorate, with auditory acuity heightened to an extraordinary degree. These entities exhibit a peculiar affinity for locales where ley lines intersect and Cathadium is in abundance. Their shrill vocalizations and language appear synchronized with the rhythmic pulsations of the ley lines. A deeper inquiry into this phenomenon is warranted to elucidate its underlying mechanisms.
I just had a Jimmy Neutron brain blast for a second. Did it look like Aelinor was starting to show early symptoms of Cathadium sickness? No?
No.
He's just naturally that pale?
He's
Cool.
probably just naturally that pale.
Great.
It's a pale
Cool.
bitch.
And posted and pinned. And yeah, there's the notes, and there's notes sticking up out of the desk, and the desk is upturned.
I'm gonna try to go for those notes
Okay.
next.
Do you check the drawers in the desk, or just go for the notes?
Yes.
Okay. Inside the desk is an amethyst that has been cut perfectly spherical. And the notes jammed in the desk, which I will also post, Further research into Cathadium has made me realize the situation is far more dire than realized, and that this cataclysmic renewal I've seen through my divination and scries seems all the more required to save our world. The Leylines cover every known inch of Del Nastra, and as such, ever since the Leylines were first infected during a great war among the gods, this infection has since spread into Del Nastra itself. It is in the plants, the creatures, and it has spread through the water. There is a high chance that every living thing on Del Nastra has been afflicted with this sickness through the drinking water and food supply. This grand restoration is most likely the only way to purge this infection from the world. I need to look into means of slowing these infections, but it would seem that ingesting it from a secondary source isn't as dangerous as coming into contact with Cathadium directly, but even this way it will also inevitably lead to the loss of self and transformations I've discovered. So he theorizes it's in... doesn't theorize, he says it's in the plants, the creatures, and the water sources of the world. Like, the ley lines run everywhere, so that infection has spread into every living thing and the water. So there's a high chance that everyone on the planet is infected in some way or shape or form.
Dude, that's the equivalent of like what lead did to our planet. When it was introduced as fuel, like in the fuel, and then it's in the atmosphere, and now there's just lead everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Grand Restoration is the, the vaccine in a way. But yeah, this note signifies it's in everything: the food, every plant, every creature, every water supply. So yeah, Antyr, you find that note, and then you find this like perfectly cut spherical amethyst, roughly the same size as the indentation in the portcullis in the main chamber. So
Were
you
there
have
multiple for the portcullis, by the way? Or
just the one. And then, aside from the desk and the notes, there's a corridor going left and right with no doors. Actually, let me double check. Yeah, just two corridors left and right, no doors. So there's still more to this area of the lab.
Let's look a little bit further for those. Maybe those elixirs are somewhere around here. Look for recipes, notes, anything of the sort.
He'll just vehemently be like, I hope I'm not infected. All you,
Probably are.
no.
Alright,
Quietly,
well,
he whines quietly. But yeah, there's a good chance you are all infected.
let's go left to the empty corridor, or that, let's go left.
Left.
Or Antyr's gonna walk left.
Okay. Just quietly again.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, stealth checks everybody plus 10.
Whoop whoop.
Natural 20 for 32.
You're doing it again.
Hey, 21.
Okay. 16.
Oh, Hopper.
I rolled a sleight of hand. That's the same thing.
How'd you get a 16? I just saw you roll a 17.
Because I forgot to do it at disadvantage, so the first one I rolled was a natural 2 plus 4.
Gotcha.
Yeah, heavy, medium or heavy armor. That's what it does to you.
I didn't realize that wasn't rolled with disadvantage. That makes more sense.
Grin, what'd you get?
26.
Perfect. Torger.
$36.
Wow.
Ooh.
God damn.
Once
dude.
again, it's Hopper. So you
Big
start.
ol' beat.
Andrew, you start.
Oh, I forgot to add 10. Yeah, I'm 36 as
Perfect.
Nice.
Andrew, you started going down the left corridor. It lies in ruins with shattered glass and debris strewn across the floor. Thankfully, Pass Without Trace muffles your footsteps, so walking on glass doesn't make any noise. However, the corridor eventually opens up into a spacious chamber featuring a viewing platform. So you come out onto a viewing platform overlooking a serene pool of emerald green water. The platform you're on is enclosed by a series of sturdy glass windows, offering a clear view of the pool below, with one of the windows functioning as a door into said chamber below with a ladder. At the center of the pool, tethered by chains and other structural supports, looms a colossal chunk of unrefined pink cathadium, about 20 feet wide and 30 feet tall. One of the biggest cathadium growths, anyone has ever seen, fair to put. More notes are plastered over the windows, like whomever wrote this didn't want to forget anything.
Mhm. Read through those, gather them up, and read through them.
This specimen originated from the depths of the forlorn forest, located on the continent of Anundial. Its presence in the forest had persisted for centuries, contaminating local wildlife and water sources, thereby giving rise to a deadly miasma that instigated mutations among the flora and fauna alike. So the fact that he has this means he's been leaving the city, because there's no way he would have been able to get this
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yup.
That instigated mutations among the flora and fauna alike. Strangely, initial symptoms induced by this specimen diverged from the typical memory loss associated with cathadium exposure. Instead, afflicted individuals exhibited an insatiable hunger, leading to reports of cannibalistic behavior and attempts to quell their relentless appetite. Witnesses gave conflicting accounts regarding the origins of these symptoms, with some attributing them to the influence of some entity contained within the moon. However, subsequent analysis suggests that these claims likely stem from shared false memories originating from other timelines bleeding into our own.
So fucked up.
I want to touch it. No,
I want
I
to
don't
touch
know.
it. I want to channel the power.
Poor drug. Poor drug.
Yeah, that's
Or-
that's where Druck's from.
Hey, you created the man.
Yeah.
You did this, Garrett.
And
Let's
I'll
just ease out of this room.
post all my word salads in here as well.
There's nothing
Thanks,
else
Word
of note.
Salad.
I'm
Yeah,
pinning all of
yeah.
these little ones, by the way.
And
No,
within
it's
this room, Is
just
there anything else? Okay.
it's just this massive, like looming, 20-foot wide, 30-foot tall pink cathadium crystal in a pool
You know-
of green water. And there's
You
a
know
there's
the, Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
and yeah, sorry, there's like a window that is also doubles as a door that can be opened, and there's a ladder that goes down into that pool to study it more closely. You can go ahead with
Nope.
what you were saying, Garrett.
I was just gonna say, none of us know anything about drugs, so we don't
No.
know that this information would be
No,
good for him to know.
but it's fucked.
Yeah.
This
That's-
cathadium crystal doesn't exhibit the same memory loss symptoms first. Instead, the first symptoms for this one is an insatiable hunger leading to cannibalistic behavior.
Yeah.
Are there any notes like on the floor around the pool?
Nope,
that
just
we
a
can-
singular one that's plastered up against one of the windows. Basically, a note for whoever wrote this, like, yeah, don't go in that chamber.
Okay.
But yeah,
Out the
so
window,
this
to
this
the
also,
right.
and also you guys wouldn't know that like this crystal was harvested recently, because it's
Yeah.
that's the only discernible
Few
way it
years,
was.
Yeah.
We've never been to an
So
Antyr. We
clearly,
would
this dude's has left before. He just has no memory of leaving.
No wonder he got fucking sick.
Yeah, he's been studying this stuff for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is all that's in here. Is just this. So it'd be back to the previous chamber and down the other corridor if you wanted to continue exploring.
Yeah, there as much fucking information as we can.
Is
so.
Vonkar adding all of this to his notes about the city?
Probably a separate. It's probably a separate
Like,
uh,
ooh,
page. Yeah.
This shit's bad.
Yeah.
Not good.
As in, like, the footnotes, or what do you call them? The
Yeah.
appendices.
appendices?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, just this big looming crystal. Even, I'll say this, even through the thick, like the glass is like thick. Even through the thick glass, you can feel this crystal's like influence just a little bit. Not cannibalistic thoughts, but like a ravenous hunger kind of bubbling up. Even those of you who don't need to eat anymore, you can feel this like ravenous feeling kind of bubble up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go.
Really quick, Justin. I'm curious about something.
Yeah.
Vonkar 2?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't count as a curse then.
It does not.
Okay.
Yeah. Antyr just was like, nope.
Yeah, this is uncomfy.
Let's get out of here.
Let's scoot and skedaddle, please.
I think that's a fun way to explain what happened out that way.
That's great. I appreciate that, Justin.
You all circle around back to the other chamber and you go down the other corridor that was open.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough.
And just this pink Thadium crystal is we can associate to enchantment magic.
Yeah.
Makes
Green,
sense. Okay.
with your knowledge of the weave, green would be necromancy.
Necromancy, yeah.
Pink would be enchantment. So this crystal was enchanting the denizens of this forest to eat each other.
Yep, makes sense. Okay.
But also explain it mutated the things there too. The other corridor extends 30 feet before reaching a securely sealed door, just closed. However, midway along its length lies the corpse of one of the blind, pallid creatures you encountered near the hive-like stalks the day before. The body shows signs of disembowelment and partial consumption.
How old does it look?
Like, how long ago was it disemboweled? Doesn't stink. But it's not like wet. It's probably like, it's cold down here, so the rot wouldn't set in quick. So maybe like a couple weeks old.
They're getting hungry.
Yeah, just one of these things, disemboweled and partially eaten, and then the door is
Yeah.
just behind it into the next area.
All right, can we
Yep.
quietly go into this room?
The next chamber, as you enter, your eyes are drawn to rows of empty holding cells lining the walls, each sized differently, suggesting a variety of potential occupants. Noting this wasn't the room marked holding cells, but there are holding cells in here. The air carries the faint scent of blood, and you noticed occasional animal skeletons scattered about the floor of the cells. Above each cell hangs a cube-shaped containment device holding various cathadium crystals. Funnel-like tubes extend downward from these contraptions, leading into the cells below. In one corner, a desk is covered in scattered notes.
Goes after the notes.
I think Hopper's going for the notes
Okay.
as soon as he sees them.
Despite the discomfort it brings me, it is imperative to investigate the perils posed by cathadium. To this end, I have initiated experiments involving exposure of living organisms to its effects. Remarkably, non-humanoid subjects exhibit markedly different responses to cathadium infection. Small creatures tend to undergo explosive reactions upon direct exposure to both raw and refined forms of cathadium. Conversely, larger creatures display a propensity for mutations and physiological alterations, yet remain resilient against the catastrophic transformations and memory loss experienced by humanoid subjects afflicted with cathadium sickness, whereas creatures of fey influence remain wholly immune to its effects. And that means creatures with the fey type.
Oh.
Boo.
So Grin,
Arr.
out of the party, Grin's the only one who's immune to this stuff.
He's also the only one that would probably explode from touching it if he wasn't fey.
In
Yeah.
the
Well,
It-
Hopper's also technically small.
and Grin's not small anymore, so perfect. In the course of these investigations, I have formulated an elixir capable of temporarily mitigating the adverse effects of cathadium exposure, thanks to the immunity strain found in these fey. And you can see some fey skeletons in the bottom of these holding cells. This
Blood
antidote,
transfusion time. With Grin.
this antidote is securely stored within a vault located in the experimentation and arcane reconstruction wing of the laboratory. Which was that door in the initial chamber that was locked with the
Barn with
portcullis.
the amethyst.
Yeah.
Key.
And this is all that's in here, is the skeletons and the note.
Did anybody grab that circular amethyst?
Antyr has it.
Okay, cool.
Would I be able to identify what kinds of fae these skeletons belong to?
No, they've been here way too long.
Okay.
Could I gather some of the bones?
Yep.
Okay, Andrew's gonna gather some of the smaller bones,
Sure.
cause alchemy stuff.
But yeah, it says Fae are wholly
I feel like
immune to its effects.
couple
Uh,
of them.
Humanoids are the ones that turn into.
So we were feeling kind of bad for this guy, but
It's like that test like to get certain vaccines and to uncover the truth about different things, you had to do like actual. So
Yeah.
there's like a level of it where he's like a scientist with like a morally gray, which makes sense, but then
Neutral.
being neutral.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, but
Someone's got to do it,
yeah.
but it is fucked up.
Grin, you're of Fey influence. You might have a better time seeing what some of these skeletons are.
Yeah, let's have a look. Also, Papa had a lot of skeletons.
Fairies, sprites, small ones easy to catch, so mostly just sprites and pixies and fairies, and
Okay.
you can see skeletons similar to your bone structure.
Yeah, that's a little unsettling.
I'm gonna end the stream.
I am
'cause
collecting
my
enough
internet's
things to
getting
create.
a little spotty. I'm just gonna record the rest.
cool. I also got spotty there.
Yeah.
So, the how do I say it? All the Fae.
Hmm.
Can we? How can we? I mean, based on the notes, they weren't affected by it.
No, the crystals they weren't affected by it, but they still died somehow.
They died,
Yeah.
So maybe you don't really know how they died, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's the cage doors, like there's holding doors are still closed.
Yeah. So he had them starve to death.
He freed the people turned into the humanoids freed by
Right,
turned
that's
into,
true.
but he didn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he didn't free any of the creatures in prison, and it's not just Fae. You can recognize like animal skeletons, like rabbits, raccoons, things he would have collected in the Underdark, perhaps without any issue, because he's been stuck in the Lower Dark for so long. And a lot of these experiments most likely also would have been going on when he was not down here.
Yeah. Damn.
Can anybody here tell how these guys died?
Not with just their bones, I don't think.
I mean, like,
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't look their bones are damaged in any way. Like they weren't attacked, so most likely starved to death.
I'm just gonna say I think they starved.
oh, that's terrible.
Fortunate for the phase. Those creatures don't seem, if they weren't affected, there was no reason to keep them, but we don't know what his motives were to keep them down here.
Maybe he just forgot.
Seems like
Oh, that makes so much sense, and that's so terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe he just forgot. Once
Wait,
his
who said that?
healed his Vini.
Hell's Fiend.
Oh.
Fucking Hellsbeanie.
The Bagman did.
The
Yeah.
His head sticking out.
Oh, don't worry, he's around.
Oh, I know. Oh, I fucking know.
Alright.
So Hilda's Vini is like, I don't like this place. I kind of want to get out of here as quick as possible, but so there's the other place that we can now get into, I think, and then there are the holding cells. So there were other holding cells.
Yeah, we probably need to go to the holding cells in case those creepy creatures are about. And if they're in there,
Antyr, do you think anything that we need or want is going to be in the holding cells? I mean, it seems like we could just close that off and be totally good.
oh yeah, I mean that's valid too. But if we make noise in one room and there's things within the holding cells, they're going to come charging us from behind. So we can ignore it. Just
Yeah, I
move
don't know.
forward.
I mean, it's just called the holding cells, not the IT sensitive information here cells.
You're right. Could provide some minor insight. He seems to have left himself notes all throughout, but if it's
Yeah.
dangerous, let's just...
Maybe he kept food in there for them.
Yeah, but maybe not. If they did
Yeah,
that,
maybe
and
we're
it
the
points to the
third.
points to the hallway with the disemboweled fucking creature.
Yeah, so you can still. Oh no, wait. Yeah, you could see out into that hallway. Body's gone.
Ooh. Do we see
Okay.
any tracks?
They don't leave tracks.
They don't.
Oh fuck.
Those
That
growths they have
was one
the growths they have
thing.
on the back of their feet erase any sense
Little
of any
sweepers.
anything any tracks they made.
Little feather dusters.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Maybe just go to
they're really cool.
go use this
Oh,
amethyst
that reminds me.
sphere.
Continue. I just got excited with
No,
something.
no. I think we just need to head back and try to use the sphere on the door.
I posted a picture of one.
She's beautiful. You have that one thing. What's it called? Tryctophobia. The circles.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Be
have
careful.
That for real.
Just
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. My bad.
No. It's not like debilitating or anything. It's just like what makes me want to vomit.
Discomfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what those things look like. They constantly walk around like that, like a hunched, scuttling.
Oh man.
Maybe we just need to transform into them, go into combat, and fight Eleanor. We'll fuck them up.
Yeah.
Just turn into these things.
If we
lose
turn
all-
into different
lose all-
versions, like imagine
You
a
lose- you-
beefed up fucking
but-
monstrous Vonkar version of one of these.
They all look the same. You've seen.
Oh, true.
And the notes say you lose all sense of self.
Vonkar, so before you turn into this, you have to get really big so that it just carries over.
I will say I'm a sucker for that kind of story though, where like the good guy has to like irreparably turn themselves into a monster to defeat the bad
30
guy.
days
It's
of
like,
night. 30 days of night does it so well.
Yeah,
Oh
it's like
yeah,
that.
that threw me for a loopy loop right there, real quick. Just to let you know, I watched that movie for the first time in full because I was used to be scared of it. Yeah, but I love the hero
Me too.
has to make that morally challenging decision to keep up. So
Mhm.
But yeah.
I love it when it's like they're totally gone afterwards. Too. Like
Yeah.
Van Helsing kind of does it, where
Yeah,
but like he
but not
comes
really.
back.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I want it to be
we
just
should have
like
kept him and just had to
So
take his ass
yeah,
out.
so you get a sense like this is what we will all become except for Grin.
Gross.
If the Grin restoration doesn't happen.
Disgusting.
So yeah. Have fun picturing that. An entire world of these things. Let's go.
That would be some fucked up post-apocalyptic shit. Anyway, going back the way we came, slowly and quietly, and going to the main door with the
Yeah.
sphere.
You walk down the corridor. The body is gone.
Gross.
No semblance of where it was taken either. There's no drag marks or anything. It's just gone.
The officers were keeping it clean,
So yeah, you head back to the central chamber.
moving quietly.
Okay, yeah. You have the portcullis door, which is barricaded with a sphere, and then you have to have the door that leads to the holding cells.
Ignoring the holding cell place for now. Gonna grab the sphere and insert it into the door.
Okay. It begins to make a loud, like, pulsing noise. Just
Oh, fuck.
And the portcullis loudly, like, groaning, because it hasn't been opened in a very long time, begins to groan and rise upwards.
Did we hear anything?
That's what I'm rolling for. Actually, let's do this the fun way. Who feels lucky today?
Caleb?
Feeling lucky.
No?
You know what? I'll
Feeling
fucking do it.
lucky.
Okay,
I'll do it.
you're gonna be rolling this on
But
D&D. You're gonna be rolling this on D&D Beyond then.
All right.
Pick an unlucky number between 1 and 4.
3.
Roll a D4 on D&D Beyond.
4.
Okay. The noise does not seem to attract any of the. In the notes, sorry, the last note you would have found when he would have called these things. I forgot to mention he would have called these things Cathadium creepers.
Ooh.
Good name.
But yeah, the loud noise of the pulsing as this door begins to rise up, the loud groaning and squealing of the metal that probably hasn't been opened in 10 years since he's been confined to his room. fully rises.
Slip under.
And there's just a stone door now that leads to experimentation and arcane reconstruction.
Fucking name.
I know.
Moving forward.
Okay, you push the door open, and as you push the door open, the walls are hive-like, similar to the corridor, or not the corridor, the forest of stalks that you all passed through where those things were roaming. The walls are covered in those, like, fungal, like, holy white growths. But they seem like long, dry, and desiccated, like they haven't been used as homes in a while, because this door has just been sealed. You guys sneaking through this area?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This will be stealth checks plus 10 again.
Stealth checks
Okay.
plus 10.
Is there an echo in here?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because of all the growths on the wall, they're kind of acting like natural, soundproofing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty, Antyr, stealth check, what'd you get?
46.
Alright, Hopper,
24.
Grin,
30.
Vonkar,
15.
Torger.
33.
Nice.
Wow. You all
Nice.
begin to...
This Pass Without Trace is clutch. Like,
Oh, it's
seriously.
Yeah.
it's one of the
It's
best spells.
saved you guys during the walk through the hive before.
Yeah.
You guys start
Yeah.
walking ahead, and you come to this like archway in the corridor that's kind of overgrown a little bit by these growths, and the archway is like inscribed with glyphs, like runes that are like currently dimly lit. And underneath the archway, the corridor just continues.
Do the glyphs give any indication of like what they're meant for?
A spell built into the archway.
Can I try to decipher the spell?
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check.
Alrighty. 11.
11, no idea.
Okay, that's definitely a spell. Alright. Just be careful, be mindful. Tiptoe through the archway.
Okay, as you tiptoe through the archway, bam, 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 and it sprays this like mist down on you. Doesn't see it's cold, but doesn't seem to do anything. Perception
Who's
check.
fast?
You're
Ooh,
going into a quarantine zone.
natural
Yeah.
one, so nothing is alerted to the noise of that beeping. That as Antyr passes, the beeping stops.
Can I cast spell magic?
Any cathadium crystals you have on your person are permanently disenchanted.
Okay, that's not bad. This is
Yeah, so like this kills like the weave in them.
Just so we don't tempt fate, perhaps the rest of us like do this at once.
Like everybody else just
charge through.
okay.
What about raw comedium dust?
Yeah, that's all just useless.
Can't be tempted anymore, Hopper.
Well, you see, I'm on the team Grin. Antyr's the only one who goes through because of that alarm system.
Can I try to cast Unravel, which is Dispel Magic, on the glyphs?
Yeah, roll a d20.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Can we tell if that stuff that took out the cathadium also affected any other magical stuff?
No.
Okay.
Did you cast Dispel
My
Magic?
lucky number 5.
Roll a d100.
Ooh. 100.
You regain all expended sorcery points, but because you're not a sorcerer, you regain all expended spell slots. We'll say.
Woohoo! My 4th level.
Nice.
Thank you. And then I'm gonna cast, which is Unravel, which is
Dispel magic.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's my Dispel magic.
Okay.
Do I need to roll for it,
I
or
believe so.
any 3rd level or lower, it automatically ends. 4th level or higher, I need to make an ability check.
Okay.
And the DC is it's the DC plus the spell's level. 10 plus the spell's level.
Yep. If D&D Beyond would load, that would be grand. Oh yeah, it dispels.
Nice.
So, just for the sake of this, me casting this spell, the effect happens before my casting of the spell or at the same time of it. Would I regain this spell slot along with the other one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd be at full again. Okay, very nice.
But you dispel
Coolio.
whatever that disinfectant was on the archway.
Oh, so Hopper won't move.
No.
Well, we don't know that it went deactivated yet, do we?
No.
No.
I mean, you just see all the glyphs just disappear.
Yeah, no, I meant like we don't realize
Like-
that the Cathadium
No,
crystals
you don't-
are
you don't-
disenchanted
no.
yet.
You don't.
Okay, cool.
Just that
Andrew's gonna do a
above the
thumbs up to
table,
others.
above the table,
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Makes sense. So Hopper doesn't need a mark. Andrew's just gonna give a thumbs up. Move forward. Let's go.
Now I walk through the archway.
Okay, no beep. No beep. Everybody else passes under no beep, no beep, no beep, no mist.
Ooh, alright. That's good.
And you proceed forward and you come to a door and it says biological study.
Good.
Biological study. What's that mean?
Live experiments.
Probably a deeper, in-depth study of whatever has been happening.
So, what's our goal again? I mean, we ultimately want to get to Cocoon, but
I thought you all wanted to find those elixirs so you could safely climb up the Leyline to get
Yeah.
there.
yep, that's
Yep.
it. Thank you.
I was like,
Grin's
wait,
already,
what are we doing
Grin's already
here?
infected.
Yeah. Well, technically, we're all infected.
We just
Some
need to
of
get
us just more than others.
Yeah.
Genetics.
Grin's just immune.
We need to find the recipe potentially, and then find the elixirs to give us the temporary food.
As you approach the
Right.
door, a face resembling Deverin forms on the door and says, "Speak as a password, and you may enter."
Mention a
Perception
password.
check. Oh, garbage. Speak is a password, and you may enter. Enter, you would recognize the magic mouth spell.
Yep. What would he think?
Speak is a password, and you may enter. You just keep saying it.
Hey, what was the name of his automaton type dude?
Ermine?
As Hopper says Ermine, the door opens.
Oh, that was really nice. It was either that or Cathadium. I was jumping between the two, so good call, y'all.
And yeah, the door
We
opens
did
into
it.
like the door
We
opens
did it.
into like a larger laboratory like room filled with various like cylindrical holding tanks that kind of line the walls. And then there's like staircases on either side of the room that go up onto upper catwalks and walkways that have other doors with different plaques on them. But like yeah, the ground floor of this area is just full of like cylindrical holding tanks in like a green liquid, yeah, and you can still see like things floating, full like figures floating in the tanks.
The green is the same color as the pool.
No, this would be like a darker
I
But
guess. Keep an eye out for the elixirs.
but the figures in the tanks look like humanoids that have partially transformed into the things. The Cathadian creepers, as he called them, like half of their face is like partially transformed, and they just float in these tanks, clearly deceased. And as you enter this room, there's another like automated kind of voice that appears, and it says, "Warning: there appears to be an outbreak somewhere within this area of the lab, locking down." And an alarm begins to blare really loud, and in the distance you can hear shrieking and screams coming quickly to this direction. And that's where we're gonna go to break. Or not go to break.
Nope.
Another break?
Another break.
That's where we're gonna end the session.
All night session, guys.
A very late start today. So we're at 3 hours and 10 minutes, but it's getting late, so
Yeah.
Works for me.
that's where we're gonna end it, with this alarm blaring and the sound of these things shrieking and screeching in the distance getting closer and closer. So
Oh shit.
that's where we're gonna end it.
Th-
Good night, everybody.
This somehow feels like my fault.
Yeah, probably.
It is.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.